Yes.
Are you talking about like the entire group or just?
Yes,
one
everyone,
entire group?
wait. Okay, so there was the spreadsheet that we have, right?
Yes.
We're gonna be talking about that today, right? And then there is also the lab itself, right? The spreadsheet is something entirely different. We as a class will be looking and analyzing all the data from all of our classes, from all my classes, on a spreadsheet. Now, if you've done the lab, right, you were supposed to answer the questions in the lab, you guys remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys took the data, right? You did all the hard work. You need to upload it. Take a picture of it and upload it. Okay, so every time that you guys get a lab, right? That day, before you leave, take a picture and upload it. Okay, get in the habit of doing that. He's like, I already did it.
Notes, page, and amazing. All the numbers on it.
I'm getting you guys in the habit of turning over.
Looks like this. With like questions on it.
Yes.
This one?
Yes. You answer the questions on there? You don't see the question?
You come over here, 'cause I'm super duper confused. Are we?
No.
And we sit here, we all together, we can answer the questions, so we came back, and then we talked about it, right? What's the,
Yeah, what are we talking about?
in the Google Doc, if you go to the assignment itself, at the very bottom, there is a link. And it'll take you to the Google Doc. Now, my 1A class was very generous, and they corrected all of your data. So anytime that you guys are entering anything into a spreadsheet, right? You want to not put numbers with your quantities. So I'll show you what I mean in a minute. Everybody has their laptop. Watch your laptops. You guys can find the link? Yeah.
No.
Okay, good. So if you go to the assignment, the Mentos assignment, go down to the very bottom. Details to the Mentos assignment, and you'll see a link.
Where it says spreadsheet?
Yeah, at the very bottom. And so it'll take you to a Google, yes,
Mentos lab.
Mentos Live.
Sure.
Yes.
Right here where the mental that I'm. Go to calendar.
Okay. And then you just have to.
And you just have to copy and paste.
Oh.
Copy paste the where it says HTTP/.
Why is it hot?
Yes. Yeah, and you're gonna have to enter your stuff in there, but for right now, don't worry about it because you can just use, you'll be able to use it. Yeah.
Oh.
But you're gonna take it, you're gonna take advantage.
Okay, because there's questions right here.
Oh, there's questions on
About this link. This is. You're supposed to answer those questions.
Okay, do you guys see where it says Mentos data link at the very bottom of the lab?
In the data section, you can put a link to the data. No, wait, that's talking about something else.
Okay, so do you guys see, this is the lab that'll show up on yours. It's a different picture, right? It's a more colorful picture. And then if you go to the very bottom, it says Mentos data link. Click on that. Okay, did everybody click on that?
Yeah.
Okay, don't, yeah, okay, good. Okay, don't change anything on it, okay? Everybody got it on their screen. Gabriel. So, hello. Okay. And you are.
Did you open this? Is that what's on the
So
screen?
did you, you're able to?
Yeah. Just switch to the slide.
So, I'll get you all the hands up in a second. Let me. So what I want you guys to do is, I want you to copy this, right? If you have your laptop, I can't. Okay. Okay, so you're gonna go to the Mentos lab. You're gonna go scroll down that assignment, at the very end of the assignment, it says Mentos data. Okay. So you guys wanna copy this file, so you have your own copy. So if you go to file, make a copy
Of the whole thing?
of the whole thing, right? So give it a name.
So now we can edit this one without you seeing all of it?
That's right. So you guys can edit it without me seeing it, all right? So you have your own copy now.
Yes, is the website.
So even though I told my other class to have their own copy, they managed to not. They did all this stuff on that class.
Is,
Learning curve. Okay, how many of you guys are familiar with using spreadsheets?
that's.
Yes.
Is the official.
I like that. Okay, so what I want you guys to do, if you notice, who entered your data? Raise your hand if you entered the data. Now, if you notice, there's no inches here, there's nothing there, right? When you're putting it in a spreadsheet, you don't want to put inches there, because first off, the inches are written up here. They're letting me know that these are in inches. Okay? So what we're gonna do is, I want you guys to hit the plus down here
On our copy. or-
on your copy, not on my copy. Obviously, people weren't listening to me earlier because they put everything on my copy, so. Okay, so. I want you guys to name this. If you double click on it, it'll pop up, it'll light up. Okay, name it height. And then put centimeters. Okay, are you guys okay?
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Anybody not okay? Okay,
I'm gonna just see.
okay, so come down here, double click on it, down here. And name that height.
Where did you click?
I don't mind, right?
Wanna click on it?
Is the AC working? Oh, I'm sorry, this is the best it gets.
Are you freaking, you're lying.
We're here at night. It gets-
Like this?
It's, you know what it is? It's 'cause we-
The dorms are like this thing. Yeah, the
At
dorms.
the bottom, right?
Yeah, it's bad at night. Sorry. Talk to Sean.
How it's like.
Okay, so everybody got that? Now, I want everybody to watch me. Pay attention. Set up attention. I want you to watch the screen. Okay, if you can't see the screen or the screens, we have a couple of them now. Okay, so we're gonna go to that very first sheet where it says Dr. Henry, right? Now we're gonna highlight. So we're just gonna run our mouse over and hold that first three columns. Columns A, B, and C. Everybody did that? Yes. No problems, right? Actually, we should get 4 columns. We're gonna do it again. Let's do to D. We want the height, right? So we're gonna go A through D. My bad. Okay, now the next thing I want you to do, if you have a PC, right? Then I want you to hit Control. I want you to move your your bar till you find the diet height right here. And then you have to keep holding control. If you guys have a Mac, you're going to hold command and do exactly the same thing. Okay, did you guys see that? Okay, yes,
I'm very lost.
okay,
You lost me at down when you were highlighting height centimeter. I think it's probably the first step we did on this.
okay.
Yeah, so
So I'll go back, okay? So we'll go back through all the steps, we'll go slow again.
Okay.
So the first thing that we did, we hit that plus, right? Everybody hit that plus earlier. And then as soon as you hit the plus, what's gonna happen is that a sheet is gonna pop up. It's gonna say sheet, whatever number it is, right? Then you're gonna double click. Now, that's what I want you to do. Now I want you to double click. You guys double click that. You're gonna type in height centimeters. Everybody got that, right? So we're all good at that point, right? Okay, all right, do me a favor, because I think part of it is because you can't hardly see this down here.
just a little bit.
Right? Okay, so
Once we get to the.
you have the mouse, right?
Yeah.
Double click on your mouse, right? So, but you want to select that sheet. Do you see a sheet? Something that's a sheet at the bottom? Double click on that. Okay, you got it? And did it highlight? Okay, now type in height centimeter. Type in this. Okay, everybody got that, right? Okay. So go back to the original sheet that says Dr. Henry. Okay, now when you go to the original sheet, what you need to do is you're going to run your mouse over the first 4 columns, starting at A1 all the way down to D17. Okay, so it highlights it. Did everybody do that?
Yes.
Okay, now you want to hit control.
Okay.
Or it's CTRL. That stands for control. Okay, and you want to hold control. You want to slide over using the bar till you get to diet height. Then you want to highlight that while holding the control key. Okay, everybody got that? See, still holding the control key, scroll over and get the sparkling height. And you want to highlight that, still holding the control key. Okay, everybody did that, right?
Yes.
Okay, so put your hands up, hands up, hands up. The next thing I want you to do is hit control first and then hit C. Okay, control C means to copy. Okay, you want to write this down. Get a piece of paper. Control C means to copy. Did everybody copy? Is it highlighted? Is it?
Yeah, and
Okay.
Control V is the paste. I know that much.
Okay, now you want to go to the sheet that we labeled
Height.
centimeters. So just click over to that sheet. Go to A1, highlight there, and then hit Control V. And that's to paste.
Oh. I didn't know that. I was labeled it centimeters and everything.
Because we're going to change it. Okay, so first off, did you copy this? You did? Okay, so close this. So do me a favor, if you guys have already made your copy, close the original file so you don't mess with my data. You're messing with my data, okay? So that's the copy. We want to be working on the copy, right? Okay. Okay, so now you want to hit command, right? So then you're gonna scroll, you scroll over while it's still highlighted.
I don't like that.
And then you wanna hit command,
Click it.
and then you wanna highlight,
Right.
The letter?
Should it start?
like that,
Maybe like an arrow
okay?
starting right.
Yep.
Oh.
And you can let go, then we're gonna scroll over. And then you're gonna highlight this, hit command. Okay, now hit command C. Okay, so for those who are using Macs, you guys are gonna hit command C or command. You're gonna hold command, not control. That's gonna be your control equivalent. So when I say control, in your head, you say command. Okay, everybody got it? Now you go to that sheet that you just made, everybody press control V, and that will give you your copy of that. Everybody got that, right?
Yes. You're gonna do that for each one. Each category.
Pretty much. Okay, everybody there?
The tutor kind of showed me, but it's better when I see it.
What's that? Okay. Okay.
I got this.
That's Dr. Henry. Yeah. Yeah, it's like you go to his YouTube channel. Still don't see any questions.
It's harder than you type, right?
Yeah. So basically,
Why wouldn't we?
this is just gonna be one of our tutors. We're gonna have to do this multiple times for the other things.
Operations and
For
support.
the 10. Wait.
You just want to.
What?
It's gonna mess up on this again. Oh.
Oh, what on that?
He's messaging. Where did you get those questions from?
I'm having an issue.
All right. Remember, I just wanted to throw out class. Okay, so you only highlighted the first one, right? So let's go ahead. What we're gonna do is highlight.
I don't know what's wrong with this.
I worked at the Valley Inn and then again at North American White Desert. Studios. I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Next year.
I must have, I just want to make sure. This is what I got. Awesome. Yeah.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah. It's blank in the two. Okay.
I'm sure it's a process to verify that.
That's what you want to do. I was like, at Personality, this is my first job. I was a COVID tester in the front and stuff. It's too easy to get, but it's so boring.
You can't do any work.
I know, but it sucks because we're in but your cell phone towers block the calls. And it doesn't last
So there's no.
long. Sometimes.
So there's no.
Cell phone, it's for the inmates, but there was some phones, and there was free phones.
There's no Wi-Fi? The tiniest phone in the world is built so it can get into prisons. There's a phone that's tiny, meant for prisons. And it's $1,000. It's pretty much like you're locked out.
But
Like
literally,
yourself.
the nurses like shop online all day. 'Cause they have more internet than other
Or like CEOs. For sure.
Same, they bring their phones in because there's certain areas where the towers aren't that bad. The weekends they're not that bad. During the week,
You guys are good?
So you feel worried. Because I know you like the guy in charge of everything.
Yeah, I got mine. I know someone at High Desert. High Desert. It's the prison up north. She started as an office assistant. She went all the way up to board. Run the place. Everyone answers to that. You gotta make sure that things are not able to be signed, I guess. Make hella money. Being a person just not charged. My husband wants to be a warden.
Yeah.
Our friend, so fucking dumb, he's like, you're gonna be there, she's gonna be the warrior, you guys are gonna be Jay-Z. Class. Like, you're stupid. So, you see, because your wife, she's still at home. Well, so,
They make like 52,000 a year.
who? No, they don't. They make like almost 200,000 a year.
Really?
That's all they
Working in California.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Average. It just depends on if you're there for the hours.
That's incredibly incorrect because CEOs make more than that. Like CEOs start at 62, 72,000 a year. You did good CEO. You look like someone. She would too.
Got to work.
So she did no criminal. What?
I finally got to work.
Bless your heart. I'm glad you got it.
Like I said, yeah, they make supposedly 42,000.
That's
And then the
bullshit.
data was updated August 17th, 2022. Supposedly.
Oh,
I
okay.
think a little
Is it
bit.
true that inmates, you know, shove anything?
Just
where?
get, you need a cavity check.
And where?
I want you to say it.
I'll
Up
put
their
on,
That
ass.
sounds like good work.
I'll put on my gloves and do the cavity check myself.
You have to. That's the CEO's job.
So,
They don't scrap it. They like make them spread it.
how many of you guys made a copy of somebody else's copy?
And if
So
you were,
when you guys,
you'd
you
have
need
to
to
do that.
save
for
it
public
as,
purposes.
so you guys, some of you guys are still not saving it as your own copy. So you guys are making, you made a duplicate of my copy without making it your own copy. You want it to be your own copy, right? So
What if it's?
if you guys go to that original document, and then you
Do
want
they
to say
still
make
have
the
those,
copy,
or
right?
do they still get
That's what
those
you guys all did.
tiny phones?
Okay, so
Yeah, but
Tells
it's
you
like,
something.
there should be
Really?
8 people in the copy.
Is someone on my
You should
document?
have nobody on your copy.
Yeah, makes
If you guys see animals on there, you're on my copy. Get off my copy. Close my copy. Okay? Now you're-
go to file,
Wait, this is.
you go to file, and don't give a shit. It's for him to worry. It's for him to worry about. Yeah, it's for him to worry about. It's on me. Go to file.
They make it
Take the file, and that's yours. And then delete all the extra that are.
Like this
Yeah, exactly. Some of them are.
one?
Says, you
There's no one there.
right click on it.
Maybe because I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna do
You're like, actually, everyone's on my copy. Yeah, what's your career goal?
and this virus.
Well, I'm sure I get my help.
Everybody did.
No, no, I mean, it's like-
Okay, everybody's on my copy.
Oh, legacy is like there for two.
Well, click on it.
For my main language.
We're just making it work. It's over here.
So, one of the reasons why you guys stayed on my copy was because you either A, didn't have your own Google account, so it just kind of stuck you up there. So you need to log into your Google account so that you can make your own copy.
I'm in my.
Okay.
But am I, am I?
Okay, are we good? Everybody's good, right? Okay, so how do I convert? Oh. Talking about it this week. So can you do me a favor, how many people got their periodic table with them? Excellent, take them out.
Right.
I guess go. It's still like my house. You get people to
Okay, everybody has their, okay, so do me a favor, if you turn it to the next page on your periodic, yes, okay? The next page is a conversion sheet, right? So what is the conversion to go from inches to centimeters?
0.01.
So if I have 1 inch, how many centimeters would that be? No, 2.
2.54.
No, 1.
It's something weird. It's a weird.
What was it? What did you say it was?
2.54.
Okay, where did you find it?
My brain.
Your brain?
Yeah.
You're awesome. So if you guys do me a favor and you go to the second page of the sheet that I gave you with the periodic table,
It's on here somewhere.
second page. There is a table that says inches, centimeters,
Oh, there it is.
something else,
Feet.
and feet.
Oh, that's-
So if I go down to 1 inch, where it says 1 inch, and then I look over and it says centimeters, and centimeters column, 2.54. So that means one inch equals 2.54 centimeters. Okay, so if I have 25 inches and I want to change to centimeters, I'm going to put 1 inch on the bottom, so I want to get rid of inches, and I want to get centimeters. 0.54 centimeters. So, you guys have a calculator or your cell phone?
63.5.
Five.
Say it again.
63.5.
63.5. Okay, so in other words, I multiplied this by 2.5. Right? So what we're going to do is we're going to set up an equation so that we can multiply it by 2.5. Okay, so that when you want to set up an equation, if you guys do me a favor and highlight G2. I feel like I'm playing bingo.
Just G2.
G2, just highlight G2. That's it. Okay, everybody has G2 highlighted. Everybody has G2 highlighted. Anybody not have G2 highlighted? Okay, you good?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Put an equal sign there. You guys see that equal sign?
Yes.
Okay. Now go and select D2.
G2 what? Oh.
Column Z, go down to 2. D2. Did everybody see that? And then what will happen, you'll see D2 lit up and it'll tell you the value of D2. Do you guys see that?
That's cool.
Okay, now you're gonna hit Shift 8. That's gonna give you a star. Shift 8. Shift 8.
Okay.
And you're gonna get a star. Everybody got a star, right? That star represents multiplication. Now you're gonna type in 2.54. Okay, and hit return. Or enter, sorry, enter.
It did all of them.
Okay, now if you click the check, it will do all of them. Okay, now, because I know you guys didn't want to go through and do each one by themselves, right?
That's so
And
helpful.
normally, if you guys are working with a large cohort of patients or clients,
You have
right?
time to do every single one.
You don't want to do every single one, right? You want to sit there and do this nice little spreadsheet and have the spreadsheet do all of the calculations for you, okay? So if you don't want to do that, right? You just want to be a rebel, right? What you can do is you can select that one. You put your mouse over that little square in the corner, the dark square. You hold it, that click button, and you drag it down. and it will copy the formula all the way down.
Just another way to do it.
Just another way of doing it, okay? Now, not only that, there's more. If we hold it, again, press our click button and slide over, I just did the calculations for all 3 of the other columns because I'm doing exactly the same thing with them.
Oh, so this first one's just for the first
Then
one.
You guys, were you guys able to do that? Anybody had trouble? Everybody's good? What was that? I can do it again. Okay, so if I've already done this, I have my first column done. I put my mouse over that dark blue square in the corner. I hit my click button and then I drag over. Okay, everybody got that? Oh, and it's a great way of doing math, right? You have a whole bunch of math problems. Oh yeah, let me tell you, there's a lot of things. Okay, so we need to label these columns, right? And I'm lazy. I don't know about you. I don't like doing extra work if I don't have to do extra work, right? Especially if I typed everything out all nice in the first place, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna highlight the labels that I have over here, right? So I'm just gonna highlight all of these.
Yeah, he dragged it out to that.
Okay? Those 3 labels, the Dr. Pepper height, the diet height, and the spring height. I'm gonna hit Control C to copy them. I'm gonna come over here to G, and then I'm gonna hit Control V to paste them. Now they're highlighted still. While they're still highlighted, hit Control F. Control F. Okay. Now, after you hit Control F, hit the, sorry, my face is in the way. Hit the 3, there's 3 dots in the corner. Click on that. Okay. Highlight.
I have to redo the calculations. Click this one by accident.
That's right.
No, after that,
Okay, so your calculations are gonna be 5. Drag it over.
no, I messed it up. I multiplied it by, 60. No.
Whatever you do.
Yeah, and then I fixed it.
Okay, so what you're gonna do now, I like these. You're gonna hit Control C, and then go over to D, and then, and you don't have to, don't highlight them all, just go to that very first one and hit Control V, right? Because then it fills it in. Okay, now, no, just keep them highlighted. You're getting anxious, slow down. Control V, keep them highlighted. Now hit Control F. Okay, now hit these 3 dots on the sides. Okay, so this should have popped up. Did it pop up for everyone?
Yeah.
This did not pop up for everyone. Did you guys hit Control F? Did you highlight them all and hit Control F? Okay, or Command F if you have a Mac. Okay, so. Hey.
I don't have any more, I promise.
It's okay. Okay, everybody hit. Okay, so you all see this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have inches, right? And now we just calculated centimeters. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna type in find inches for the things that we have highlighted, okay? We type in inches. If I can spell. Inches. And then we're gonna put in cm for centimeters. Okay, so we're gonna replace it with centimeters. Now hit replace all. And it'll tell you it replaced 3. If it says it replaced 6, that means that you had everything highlighted or you didn't highlight anything. It's just going through the whole sheet and trying to change everything. Okay, and then all you do is hit done. Okay, so I can't tell what the hell I've written up there. So what I want to do, I'm going to highlight all my columns. Okay, after I get all my columns highlighted, I'm going to go between 2 of the columns. I'm going to move my mouse between 2 of the columns, and you're going to get this little line. You see this line here? Little line right there, right? If I double click, it'll widen it out so I can see everything that I have typed there. Okay, so you guys can see, I have my inches and I have my centimeters. Okay,
All right. Where the heck was I?
I don't think you're. I don't think you're.
No, you don't. I mean, look at this. This is how I did it. But there are still the other options. Just widening. Never mind.
That's only to expand the.
It did it.
Oh, well, already
So you
expanded.
just highlight the A through I.
All right, it's done.
That's those two with the arrow.
Yeah, but we already done that.
Okay, then we're good. Set it aside.
Oh,
And now it
yeah,
says-
he just did that to the church opening.
He did it fancy.
And I was like, you guys have this one, which is here. So G, H, and I is CCM, and then D, E, and F is inches.
Where else? L O T.
Yeah. Did you know the difference between that?
Oh, okay, still do that stuff.
way better.
That's better?
Yeah, highlight.
Don't worry about it. First day of class.
All right, like this?
And then go with the line between like E and F. Oh. Why did I create- When I double clicked it, it expanded right away.
Like,
Yeah, like highlight all the top of it, from A to I. Oh, like A18 to A. Oh, none of that. Just double clicking this shit. There's just something different.
Oh, maybe go like this. Yeah, it looks good.
Okay, here you
That
go.
looks good. Thank you.
Double tap. Those lines.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, you nearly expanded out. You did it.
I tried to recreate it. I don't know how.
you're stuck up.
Yeah, can you fix it how we just did right?
Because I did it correctly before, and then I was like, I don't actually want to do this. So then I, went back, see if I, yeah.
Next one will be my PC. Give me a- It's finally done.
Okay, everybody's good? Anybody have trouble?
Is there another-
Oh, okay.
I don't want to click on all those.
Okay, thanks.
Well, it looks right. Yeah.
You had it.
You see? You said I couldn't.
Now, who else needs?
You already knew that.
I'm ready to wait.
I told you I was a number one day, okay?
Okay.
All right.
You said.
All right, figure out how to do it.
It's not working. What's wrong?
I'm just trying to remember how we did this to begin with. We're gonna do all this.
You click the top left white corner, and then.
No, I'm talking about like a whole process. I feel like this, we're gonna take all of it. I should have been ready, but it's okay. I'm trying.
Keep saying that.
They'll say, you went to Coalinga High School. When was that? Okay, so you don't know math. But a new guy moved into the dorms and I know him. He's racist. But like also, you know, but he's like really short. Evan?
Blend in.
Well, well, I mean, it's like, I'm Spanish.
White people can tell when someone's not just white. A mix of white people know I'm not just white, Mexican people just think I'm white.
Wait, where do you guys shower in the dorms? Is it like a specific thing or is it like?
Yeah, it's, well, I mean, it's called the bathroom.
No, but like this bathrooms for that, like,
Well, it's not that, it's not bathing, it's showering.
like,
And there's like, there's the,
So
there's
is it
the
like a
room.
communal bathroom? Like we have to share with
Well,
other
there's a
people?
room, yes, but it's like, there's, in the shower room, there are 4 stalls that don't have like, they have like curtains, shower curtains, and that's it for.
It's like showering at the gym.
Yeah. And there's no like, what is it? Nozzle? It's just like a pipe and just like shoots already.
Yes, you're.
Oh, it's not like a shower?
Yeah, there's, yeah.
so you had to wear like,
Because like they probably destroyed the actual like shower heads.
so you have to wear sandals so you don't get like athlete's feet or athlete's foot. Like,
Yeah, you should do that every
yeah,
year.
because people that go in barefoot to like public showers, they catch athlete's foot.
Yeah, you wear shower.
They get short stuff.
Wait, so I'm serious.
You wear chunklets in the shower, right?
I didn't know
Crocs.
that.
You should, just in
You
case.
you just go barefoot.
Why
You
do
go
you,
wrong.
well, obviously I take shoes in to go inside.
No, but I'm saying like in the actual shower
Like when you're
itself.
taking a shower, you're wearing chunklets, right?
No,
You should, it's strongly encouraged. So you don't want to get athlete's feet or fungus or something like that. So if you get
So that's why-
finish.
so-
So it's not almost like it's
So that's why everyone wears chunklets.
Yeah.
It's the one that does it. He's like contaminated.
That or at least put a towel before so you're not touching it.
He's like, you know, like that.
Yeah.
Alright, good to know, good to know.
Where are your parents? Oh my God.
Also, what is it, the shower glove? You know, just,
Glove? You have a roommate?
no, not yet.
You live by yourself?
Yeah,
I wanna know that. I wanna see how the dorm looks.
Super.
Big, small.
okay, it's like very small.
Is it hot in there?
Or the bed's tall.
Well, and you can make it tall.
Is it hot in there?
Oh no, you have the AC. You can make it super fucking cold. Which is horrible.
Why?
Because it's super fucking cold when you wake up.
Or when you go to sleep, you
Yeah,
should hire.
and it's like, you know when you sleep and then you wake up and it's like, I'm not getting up yet. Well, the cold makes you want to like turn it the fuck on. But I
I'm
mean,
guessing that's your key.
listen, I just have this shit.
No, the key.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, you gotta key like Zoe 101.
but they have a university, but this key opens the dorms, like actually, like it opens the building and also.
You should paint it, dazzle it, silly.
No, because then I have to return it, and that costs money.
How many semesters do you have the dorm to yourself? Like,
I mean, for that semester,
for like,
which means basically,
You have to reapply every semester.
yes,
so you can live there till December or what?
yes, and then you have to reapply. Probably, I know I was able to do this for summer, but I haven't done it for, you know, Christmas, winter, because obviously I need experience. Winter season, so, but yeah, you sign the papers for housing, and then if you don't do that early.
Okay, how you guys doing? Everybody's good?
Yes.
Everybody's good? Looks beautiful, looks beautiful. Are you happy? Are you happy? I'm happy. If you're happy, I'm happy.
And then the AC itself is seasonal.
I was like, that is not your height, is it? Okay,
The AC
okay,
is
great.
seasonal,
So you guys
it's-
all are
it's
here,
winter,
right?
it's gonna be hot.
So now we're gonna make a graph, right? Now, what makes sense? What type of graph makes sense to you guys? We're doing comparisons. A bar graph, or what we call, here it's gonna be called a column graph, right? Because you can have a bar graph, meaning that it'll go vertically, right? Or it can be columns. We're gonna do a column graph.
I like columns better.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna select our data. We're only gonna select the groups.
Prison mindset.
So we're gonna highlight groups all the way down to that last piece of data. So we want to start at 1 or C1, and then we want to highlight all the way down to
I said.
I-17. Bingo.
knew you were sincere.
Okay, so the next thing I want to do is, I'm gonna go to the top. I'm gonna click insert. When I click insert, I'm gonna go down to chart. So select chart. Like chart. Oh my God, Becky. Okay, so that is crazy. Oh, actually, we got carried away. All right, I didn't want height. I didn't want it in inches. I just wanted it in centimeters. So let's take a step back. So if you hit Control Z, it clears everything that we did, right? Okay, so we're gonna be very selective because we don't want all of the inches. We got rid of inches. We don't want inches. So we're just gonna select group,
Oh, and then hit control.
and then we're gonna hit Control. Good job. And select our three columns that have centimeters. Okay, everybody did that? Okay, and now you want to go to chart.
There you go from.
Yeah, I messed up. Damn it. It goes.
Okay, now, is this the best way that we want to show our chart? Is that the chart that we want to show? No, because it's not like they're percentages of each other, right? So it doesn't make sense. We know that sparkling water was so tiny, right? And here they're just adding the values on top of each other, right? We don't want that. That doesn't make sense. So we're gonna go chart type. You guys see where it says chart type over there?
Yes.
So we're gonna select chart type. Okay, and then it gives us some suggestions. And I don't like any of those suggestions, right?
Oh, you gotta scroll down to column.
Ah, there we go. So it says columns. So we want to hit column chart. And we're gonna select that.
That's cool.
Is that prettier or what?
It looks so fancy. Looks like a business thingy.
Exactly. Okay, everybody sees it? And look at it, our groups are already labeled for us. Oh my God, all that work is done. Oh, they even labeled, they labeled the x-axis for us too, right? They let us know that these are groups, right?
I don't feel that's
So the only thing that isn't labeled is, well, it is sort of labeled. We're gonna change how it's labeled. Is the name of our graph, because we don't want it to be called Dr. Pepper height centimeters. Dr. Pepper height centimeters. We want to give it something that means something to us, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to customize. So I'm going to customize my graph, right? Where it says chart and axis title, I'm going to select that. I want to change the title. Right now, this is what the title is. So I'm going to select that. Need it. Oh. So what do you guys think we should name our title? Our chart?
Bless you.
Okay, now bless you is not a good name.
Mentos height.
Mentos height, okay.
So we know what it is.
Mentos data height.
Oh. What about height data?
Height data? Oh,
Yeah.
that sounds good. Mentos height data.
Because data height sounds stupid.
Excuse me.
Sound right, sound weird.
Okay,
We have a teacher named Harvey.
It's too Yoda for me, I don't know.
Yeah, we have a teacher named Harvey.
Yeah, it's all-
okay, so I like mine to be centered
Why? It makes it look nicer.
because it just, to the side, it looks kind of stupid.
Oh, okay, I see what you mean. It looks way better now.
Okay, so you can play with the format. We can change the color, we can make it bold, we can do whatever we want to do, right? Okay, so if we're happy with it, we're gonna select our next thing. So we know that the horizontal axis is already labeled, but our vertical axis, so height, okay? But if we look on the side, does it tell us what those numbers are? Right, so we want to label that axis. Okay, so what should be the label of this axis? Right here. That would be the height and centimeters. So we're gonna label this height and centimeters.
Should we put the CM in parentheses or just put?
You can, or you could just say height and centimeters.
Okay. No, I
Okay.
don't like that because then it looks like inches.
Height in centimeters. Or you could just say set height, parentheses, centimeters, if that makes you happy. It's your graph, right? It's what makes you happy. Long as you're able to help me understand what you're trying to say. Now, let's look at the data. What does the data tell us?
And I dropped your Mentos on the floor.
Does it tell you anything?
2 times.
Of course, but I mean, you're analyzing the data, right? So we're comparing, we're looking at the groups. So what is consistently higher in all of the data that's presented?
The sparkling height. water.
Except for like 2 cases.
They were good.
Yeah, that works.
But they were going.
Except for 2 cases. Which one is the highest? The diet. So what can we conclude from this data? What was that? That the diet was highest. So consistently, regardless of the size, right? Consistently, the diet was highest, right? Except for like 2 cases. And so those could be anomalies. Somebody spit in their soda, right? Sweat in their soda, I don't know, something, right? So, but because the data is so consistent, except for here and here and there, 3 spots, right? Then we can consistently say the diet was higher than that. Okay, what else can we say? Sparkling water sucks, right? Okay, it had the lowest values. Okay, so we're able to analyze our results. This is a result. Okay, so do you guys remember the results section in your report? This is the part that you're gonna be putting in. Okay. So how you guys doing so far?
Is this the introduction sign?
That is the introduction. That you should- So you gotta take a picture of that. You're gonna upload, okay?
I thought it was something. Which is this.
That's your syllabus.
Yeah, it says introduction. Yeah, I know.
Okay, now, and you're good?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so the next thing that we're gonna do, we're gonna look at the temperature.
Wait, can you come look at this?
Oh, yeah.
I have a question.
And the dorms, the pipes,
Look real quick, 'cause I think
and all
You had a
the
question, Paul?
toilets,
Sorry.
and showers, and sinks.
Yeah, we're gonna add a new screen.
Taking water, so it's flooded.
I don't know what it is, but I realized like
Oh,
the
that
chart
one
was
was relatively-
the sparkling height. So
And it still
I've
smells
sparkled that
terrible.
like 3 times. and I don't know why.
Because when you copy.
The plumbers were supposed to come in
Same thing, so
5 hours before I was.
if you look at your values, you did the calculation.
I think it was noticed at around 7 p.m. and then I was awake by 1. Yes. 1 in the morning. And I was like, where the fuck are you? And now it's good. That's good. No longer smokes.
You would smoke it?
People do it. I mean, so.
Yes.
I told them don't. No. Or else, oh, good luck.
You ever take dogs back?
Hose.
Oh.
Clippers.
Yeah.
I mean, you can have girlfriends.
Yes, bumper nipples. I don't know, like,
I mean, you can probably,
all this turn back in the day.
I mean, you can,
Bumper nipples.
you can probably, bring girlfriends and stuff. There's always the women go, right? So I'm careful about that.
Oh, so guys do take their clothes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought there's something like that.
And then sometimes some of the girls actually stay in Bound. Do homework or something. Another one. Was right. There was a guy asking me like, he wanted stuff, but then it was like, oh shit, so now I'm doing it. And he was high each time.
Okay, everybody good?
I mean, it smelled like weed.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
And he locked himself up.
Okay, so let's add a sheet. And we're gonna name this sheet temperature data. So to be distinguished between this temperature that somebody else wrote. So everybody added their sheet. You guys remember how to do that? The plus. You're gonna hit plus. Plus in the corner. Okay, so, and how do I change the name? I double click.
Can we just exit out the graph?
No, we don't want you to exit out.
Do you just push enter? Like, how does it go away?
Well, there's already one that says
No, you want the
temperature.
graph to stay there. It's gonna stay in that
She's
sheet.
talking about like the sidebar of it, like,
Oh,
you know, where like you edit stuff, you just have to click the X up. on
yeah,
the
you can
corner.
hit.
There's already one that says temperature. Do we delete that one? No.
Are you good?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Also, Dr. Henry, there's already one that says temperature.
I told you, I want this one to be called temperature data. Okay, again, temperature data. Or temp data. Temp data. Okay. Okay, so now I want you guys to copy from the original sheet, Dr. Henry's sheet, right? Copy your first three columns, the group, you know, the location, all of that stuff. I want you to copy that. I want you to copy the start temperature and the end temperature onto your sheets. Do you guys remember how to do that?
Yes, control, drag, and hold on to, like, hold on to control after you had it, and then go re-highlight them and keep holding on and keep going. And then control C and control V.
Good job.
The first three, then we start.
Did you say bottom to start to this part?
No, just sign it.
Okay, so after you did all that, what did you do? What? Oh, we just left this up.
Yes.
Start and the end. Start and the end. For every, yes, for the doctor, for the diet doctor.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
yeah, and you want to put that in your new sheet. Like this.
Start.
Is there two? Start and end?
There should be two of each. And they should be like right next to each other.
Oh, two of each?
Yeah, so. It's you have to hold on to and then add that one.
Watch the game show. What's that? Jeff Keighley. There were some good games. Most of them were.
Okay, so
Dumb
if you guys do me a favor, if you flip your periodic table to, it says like the Army sheet.
There's a Doom.
Another
Doom
side?
game.
At the very top,
It's an MMO.
there's some stuff about temperature. It's on the top right-hand corner.
Doom.
And it'll say, comparison of various temperature scales. You guys see that?
Yes, sir.
Comparison of various temperature scales. Okay, so flip it over. Okay, now what I want you guys to do. I want you guys to do this, okay? I want you to write PK equals C plus 273.15. Okay, let me tell you what this means. So we talked about movement, right? Like all molecules move and all that stuff, right? Yeah. We talked about that. So at absolute zero, which is 0 degrees Kelvin, everything stops moving. Okay. So everything stops moving at 0 degrees Kelvin. We, as chemists, like to use the Kelvin scale for temperature. So like here in the States, we use Fahrenheit, right? In Australia, they use Celsius. Correct?
Because we're the only people that don't use the metric system.
The best way to
So,
remember which is that.
As scientists, we like to use Kelvin because we know that at absolute zero, 0 degrees Kelvin, everything stops. So we convert Celsius to Kelvin by adding 273.15.
To whatever it is, so it's like 36 degrees Celsius plus that would be the.
That would be in Kelvin. So what we're going to do is we're going to convert our temperatures from Celsius to Kelvin. Okay.
The only reason I remember is
So I'm going to highlight
the system.
my labels.
Reader cannot. That's first.
Gabriel, you pay attention.
Exactly.
And then I'm going to hit Control, find, Control F. I'm going to hit my 3 dots. I'm going to type in, it says little o, and then capital C. And I'm going to replace that with K, Kelvin. And then I'm going to hit replace all. Okay, and then it tells me it replaced 6 instances with K. So that means that you only selected 5. You have all of them.
Control, I can't copy your the
Control
text to my data. I try to find
Okay, so let's go back to the original sheet.
dots.
You have everything highlighted.
Yeah.
So now hit
And then you replace it with
C.
lowercase o, C, K.
and hit
Control V, replace all
yeah, go to the
the dots.
go to the corner. You have to type one. Control V. Still only gives part of it.
Yeah.
That's weird.
No, it's like, yeah.
Alright, well. These first.
And like,
Paste it.
escape.
Right. Because like, yeah.
Oh, it's all scroll.
See. And before,
Just like.
press and then put 3 dots.
Or sorry.
Replace all of them, right?
Oh,
So it is.
Why do you only have a few? They should have more.
Oh, they're gonna tell us it's not.
Because then you say just
Just not just like.
No, it's because there's nothing. So it should be a new register. Because we want to do solutions.
right now.
But,
Yeah,
we
just
still
do it all
have-
over again. Do it that way. Do it like each one. You know what I'm talking about? So like, hold whatever button you gotta hold and highlight the next ones that you need also.
How'd you do that?
Well, I mean, so it's one thing. You click the,
Oh, when you click Command Z?
no, no, you click the. I hate my system.
In the right column to. For the next one, it's like hover over both of them at the same time. What about that one?
And then just anywhere in
Or
between.
I think go.
Yeah.
And just click it.
Hold it again. You have to hold it and
There we
Thank
go. Well, yeah, now I remember what I hate.
then you like two columns at a time.
Yes.
Okay.
But yeah. Half.
Um,
Current high associated.
Well, no, it's
No, F is for freedom for. Say,
Okay.
I learned about it.
Highlight on that, you need the double tap, you know, like, expand data.
Okay.
So like, why highlight? Oh, you didn't get it?
Area 51.
My brother says he doesn't ever want to watch it. He says he'll never finish it, even if he watched it.
Oh, you are, okay, now.
No, that's One Piece. Because it has 2,000 chapters in the manga. And then
doesn't matter that you.
there are 800 episodes in the anime.
If you don't have this one, I think so. Yeah. Regulated by water, so I think it's gonna bother me.
But do you remember the Facebook post about the raid on Area 51?
Oh, I thought they were gonna take it over.
And by Naruto running? You know how to, the Naruto run?
Yeah, I never understood it until I got to high school, but I used to run like that cafeteria. I was like,
It's,
why are they running?
it's in the anime, they run like ninjas.
Makes them run faster or something.
There's 6, but then I see the end. It says replace only 4.
Okay. Yes. Okay, so you
They have festivals.
Did you do it?
Okay, so go. Hey,
Hold on. Hold on.
Control F. 3 dots.
Especially, I think I don't know which part it is. He's here twice.
Where'd you mess up?
Oh, wait, never mind.
Let's see. Yeah.
Is yours look like this, like at least these parts?
So I was supposed to highlight it.
Okay, so I think I'm lying.
Yeah. So
Where'd you mess up?
copy first.
I have like,
Input.
I
Okay.
got all the data in there, but I haven't converted it, and I thought I did.
You mean from OC to K?
Yeah.
Because the first one should be OC.
So is it problem? Okay, so the problem is.
Yeah, it's like the first set of 6 should be, OC.
Good.
We did the same thing.
I saw.
Okay, so.
You know Spanish?
Oh, yeah, I'm
You're
Mexican.
on.
I'm Hispanic.
Ooh, my Spanish sucks, but I.
Mine too, I sound like a white guy. But have you heard of that? They're not like in Spanish, but like from like 20.
Wait, say something.
Well, yeah, you can hang out with others on Tijuana.
Say something in Spanish.
Okay, so like this section right here. Okay, so the section on the right is all blank. Is there supposed to be something?
No,
No? Not yet? Okay.
no, we do that later. It's right there. Look. See the right side? There's nothing there.
Oh, okay, we haven't got that far. That's kind of cool.
What do they talk about?
My boyfriend's like, yeah, they was hella shit, except. You guys know?
Okay, so how many of you guys have used Excel or Google Sheets before? It's the first time? So you guys are all virgins. Good to know. Well, I get to be your first. I'm so.
No.
It's okay. So it's good. I mean, but you guys gotta understand, you will be using Excel or you will be using Google Sheets the rest of your life if you guys are dealing with patients, right? Or dealing with any type of business, right? Because you need to learn. So this is a very valuable learning experience. So don't get frustrated. This is your first time. It's okay.
It's cool.
It's okay. We'll be okay, right? Okay. I was expecting to be able to get a lab done, but you know, we'll see what we can get done. We're almost there. We're halfway. We're halfway. Okay, so
I'm just gonna, I don't.
go ahead and get done. Everybody's done? Okay, so let me.
I think 4 or 5.
I'm
But
gonna
I know I
spread these
have
out so I can
an
actually
English
show you.
class after this week. That starts.
Oh, it hasn't started.
Math class that starts on Friday, but next Friday I can try to test out.
I have a math class at 10 a.m.
Math for medical professionals.
then next week I have
Okay,
science.
so we want to change from Celsius to Kelvin, right? So the way that we would do that is we're going to hit equal again because we want to start a function.
Equal. Gotcha.
Then we're going to go back and select the Dr. Pepper start temperature,
Okay.
D2. We're going to add plus 273.15.
One point four? Or no,
What did you say after
0.15?
G2?
Add 273.15 is written up there, plus 273.15. Okay, now hit return. Go ahead and allow it to autofill.
And then you go back to start temp and click on that.
Highlight just the numbers. Go to the corner and drag across. Okay,
Wait, if I'm clicking here, why is it typing in here?
because it's typing in this box, but it's just letting you know that you clicked over there. It's telling you where to click
Okay, so now I click enter.
and hit enter. Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Into something else.
Okay, so then highlight the numbers. I think last time you highlighted it. Yep, just the numbers. Go to the corner.
Where's the?
Yes, I can give you some help. Okay, at the very top, it's okay. This is a learning experience. It's not gonna be easier at first. Hit equal. Now, select D2 plus 273.15. Hit enter. And then, yep. You gotta check first. That's it. Okay, you got it?
Okay.
Okay.
I was like, I didn't want to say.
You got it, right? She didn't do it for you?
Yeah,
I know.
She can tell.
Okay. Okay, don't worry about
Yeah.
it.
And then you just say try.
That's it.
Drag it to the. like this.
Under control, under wraps. Everybody good?
Mexico, no, Mexicali is super hot, right? Every year.
I've never been there, so I don't know. It's really interesting.
What do you mean? Really? I went there.
Well, I went to a high school.
Mexicali
It's like,
is like,
it's still kind of like, that's all like the beach, but it's.
Mexicali is on the other side of the border. It's like the first time. That's where my family's from. I went there a couple times as a kid. Each time it was super hot, even at night. And stepping on the grass was hot. Stepping on sand was hot. The cement was hot.
That's what mine says too.
And I watched Toy Story 3.
305.
And 297.50.
Yeah, I even did search. Where? Let me see. Oh, yeah.
So,
Everything?
I sometimes think about
Wait, I
going
don't
back there.
And you're missing what
I
number?
don't know.
Damn it.
Your chart should be dragged out all the way to O.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
That's where his is at.
Déjame darle su culpa.
Are you gonna ask? Oh, we.
Oh, never mind.
Asking for a stand.
Yes, say it.
I want to be invited.
Okay.
You sound like, you guys, you should have audio,
Just because?
but like. Born and raised here. Huh? So you were born and raised here, you better speak
I
Spanish.
get it. I don't know what you did to your tails.
What is it?
I know, I'm missing the O.
All right.
I think I never spread them.
All right. I have to look this up. Porque es para saber.
Porque estás acá. Porque me gustan las calcomanías. No, esa es la mejor caricatura de
Pero
I don't know what you're looking at.
wasn't there like a whole issue because like it should have been out? Or it should have been heard. No,
Looks like that.
then again, that was 10 years ago. So it's born till
Okay, how you guys doing?
Yes.
I thought it was killed. Is it so work or not?
What did I do? That's not right.
But didn't he get like impaled? What? Even though he's the manager.
Whatever.
I mean, I haven't watched anime. I was on them sometime. Last thing I read was Solo Leveling. That's it. Webtoon. I think from manga. Yeah, I usually read like novels. But then like the Japanese novels. The Korean ones are usually better. The Chinese ones have a fuck ton of chapters. But you know, the quality is very good.
What does Gate do? What do you do?
That I do for fun mostly games. But like if it was me like 2 or 3 years ago, it was like reading novels and manga. Yeah, my friend was good. Yeah, it's like I don't know, it's like
Well, all those things don't socialize, that's why I'm asking.
I mean, well now I understand that, you know, someone asked me, oh, someone is to socialize. They know that because
You look at close friends.
sometimes.
Who's your BFF? Who's your best friend?
No, my mom.
Oh, that's a good. You should go to like comic book stores because they have like party nights, like.
Where is it?
Fresno.
Exactly.
You don't drive?
I don't have a
What are you gonna learn?
I
You open a lot of social life.
I need to get my permit. I didn't really during high school. I fucked up during high school. Don't show.
It's okay.
I have my,
This what you want?
I have my state issued ID.
The pedal.
I'll just use it by you. Or when you. What? I mean, I asked my parents, like, give me like all of it. All right, and they did. Yes. I mean, it's not really expensive. It's just literally like $1 to $2. And they taste the same. They all taste the same. And they're good.
Yeah, for local.
For local.
Just fix the trends. And then you'll get fucked up.
I think you just have like I used to like take 3 shots and it's everything.
Perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I can remember like 9 shots.
Okay, how are you guys doing?
I have a question.
Yes.
I think I have it all except your column stops at O and mine did not go to O.
That's because you cut off part of the very beginning. We saw that earlier. Keep going, keep
Why
going.
didn't you tell me?
Location. Let me see.
It's okay.
Also, go back here and add it.
You could add it, you could add the whole column. But don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal because we're not looking at locations.
Okay, I just wanted to know first.
That's for my benefit, because I have a theory. Okay, so now what we want to do, we want to take the change in temperature, right? We're going to take the change in temperature from the end and subtract the beginning, right? So we're subtracting the end from the start. So it'll be end minus start, okay? For each of the different sodas, the end minus the start. That's going to give us our change in temperature because we're looking how it changed, right? So we're going to take the end temperature and we're going to subtract the start temperature from it. So we want the change in temperature, okay? So the way that we're going to do that is first we're going to make our columns. We're only going to have 3 columns this time. So I'm going to still, because I'm lazy again, I'm going to take a Dr. Pepper. I'm going to hit Control or Command, depending on Mac or PC. And then everywhere it says start, I'm taking the diet and the sparkling. And then I'm going to hit Control C. Is somebody to? Oh, yeah. Sure it was. Control V. And then I'm going to hit Control F. Okay, so now I want to replace my start temperature with change in temperature. So I'm going to hit my 3 buttons. Start. Temp. And I'm replacing it with change in temp. Okay. I should have 3 instances that changed. I hit done. Okay, so I'm gonna go to my temperature. That was the end. Forgot to put my equal sign. Equal. Then I'm gonna go to the temperature that was the end, and I'm gonna subtract the temperature that was the start, and I'm gonna hit return. And I'm gonna autofill that. Now, because the way it's set up, I'm gonna have to do each one independently, each column independently, okay? Because if I try to drag it across, it's not gonna drag across the right way. It's just gonna go to the next column, okay? Does that make sense?
I honestly, I got lost after I pasted those things into the ad.
Okay, so
Change it to
I'll
this.
start over, okay? Okay, so everybody's here. Everybody did the pasting?
Yeah.
And you have, everybody has these 3 columns, right?
Then the Control F
Wait,
is where I got lost.
No, I'm not
I
there.
got that.
You got this part. Okay, so everybody get to this part. So how do you go about changing the text?
Control F. Right?
Yes.
I hit Control F, I highlight it,
Yeah.
I hit Control F to find what I want to change, right?
3 dots
The 3 dots,
and then,
and it was saying start temperature, so I said start temp.
okay, got that.
And so instead of saying start temp, I'm gonna replace that with change in temp.
Okay, yeah, I got that.
And so then you change it with change in tense.
Start temp, change N, 10. There you go.
I got that, and then after that,
Okay, but you only need 3 of them, right? So you don't need all 6. You just need the start ones, right? So delete this column. So you select this whole column and then go to edit and then hit delete and then hit column Q. And then you go to this column, same thing. And then if you go, yeah. Okay, and then give yourself some space so you can read what they are. Okay, so your 3 columns, right?
So
Yes.
anyone who combine it's like start temp and then change?
No, you're replacing it with change and temp.
So I should have these 3 columns then.
Yeah, only thing this one just says change in temp, right? That one says in temp because you had copies. Change in temp. Same thing that's written up there. Right? Change in temp.
So same thing as up there?
Yeah, change in temp. Don't get rid of the in.
Okay, now I got it.
Get rid of, yeah, there we go. Okay, now hit replace all. Okay, sweet, there we go. Done. Okay. And it should be in not Celsius, but it should be in Kelvin. How did you get it? Must have just copied the Celsius. That's right.
So, okay, so
Yeah.
just copy the column.
Yeah, so just all you have to do is it's already selected, right? Hit Control F. And then get rid of the degree C and then replace it with K. Okay. Replace all, should give 3, right? Okay.
On Thursday.
Okay, so you want to highlight those 3 and now hit.
Or wine.
Okay. Sorry. And then, from here. You said things, okay? You're on. Okay. Got it? Okay. Get it? See, now she's like, I got it now. I'm rocking the beginning. Okay, we'll go over together. Everybody's good? Anybody not good? That's all right. Hey, you gotta learn someday, right? So it's better to learn today than tomorrow. It's just how you taste. Okay. Okay, so you're gonna come over here. Remember start. Okay. And then hit control. Control. Select diet start. Yeah, that one. And then take control and now select sparkle start. Okay. Now hit control C. Oh, that's all right. You guys get to stay. I'll give you your own back.
When are you gonna appear?
So
Well,
now.
next semester, I'm taking a test, and then that's when I will do my first.
So that.
Every semester you're gonna have like stuff.
No, next semester I'm done. But by next semester, I should be taking like
When do you
the
back,
test.
you go back to the dorms? What do you do?
Just watch videos.
Cause I'm done
Like,
like
I'm
that.
gonna apply for it.
Like there's.
You have your own TV, like did you read the TV from home?
Oh.
They don't give
We're
us-
like, more there. Till January, so if you like do spring and then work on your team
Now it's
for
like
like summer.
300.
and fall, give yourself more time to fall.
So it's just pretty good compared to 5 years ago.
So you'll just, you know,
$3,000.
So you sit in that room by yourself?
so take it after. you
Done the
finish
best.
your-
But that was
They
during the
want you to
summer.
get
So what happens if you go to the.
But now there's people. Well, then,
There
So
has
it's
to
really-
be.
So like you can do like a counseling.
sometimes that's great, sometimes it's not. I will say though, the white people are nicer. Football players are really
Coworker, and I was like,
like,
you have to
they
eat.
wake up in the morning, they scream outside, and they go back to sleep.
You're gonna take it too?
So
And
all you see is that we usually give it
I
the
told
cafeteria.
her,
Yes,
she's
which
done
is
this semester. I'm
actually
like,
really
you should try
good,
to schedule it
because
soon,
breakfast,
because
it's
like
basic,
January.
but it's amazing. It's
What
like
are you
eggs,
gonna do?
bacon, sausage, and fries.
But I'm taking
No,
it
not
to
fries, little potatoes.
Is it unlimited or what? Is it
Oh,
unlimited?
just in case there's.
No, it's limited. One serving for each time. you're-
change.
There's lunch, and there's dinner as well.
So what time is breakfast?
Breakfast is from 7 to 9. And for lunch, it's 11 to 1. Now, for lunch, you can get whatever is on the line. Or you can order some hardware. And just wait a couple minutes. And then
After so long.
No, so it's still part of the program. The only two pay are those that are not part of the program.
It's okay, it's
Yeah,
like,
like,
honestly,
they just go there
it's
for
kind of
food.
discouraging. when you're like, some people do it.
So it's never like all you can eat.
You just have to have
I
time.
mean, I started,
We started the bottom.
but it's a large portion, like a lot of food.
So you only need to eat 3 times a day.
Yes, and it's a lot. Sometimes it's all food, so I'm still like, or I try to limit what I eat because, we can know that. So I don't get fries, I try not to get fries, chicken, if there's a burger, I take it together. For dinner, it's random, you don't know what's for dinner, what's for dinner. Yeah, that's a lunch, and then they have breakfast, so you can go start. Or just like board. And then tell you.
I like to try the cafeteria.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. But here's the issue with here's the issue with like the bread and stuff. Like burgers and hot dogs, whatever they're serving. Sometimes it's fresh from the fridge for some reason. It's cold as fuck. But, yeah, exactly.
Like,
You gotta know how to order it.
There's a microwave there that doesn't work. But,
so do you have unlimited Wi-Fi at the door?
yeah, actually, I've downloaded a shit ton of stuff for PS4 and stuff. It's great. I thought I broke it the first day. No, it was just the Wi-Fi. The door's been fucked up.
What if they steal it?
Yeah, I'm just scared of it.
That's why I always.
Is there any cases in the doors for you?
So, okay, what would you do if you wake up in the morning, go get breakfast at 9? You pull up, you get your plate, you get your eggs, you sit down, you ready to Grubhub, and then like just buy a couple shit up, game like 2 nights to your dorm, trying to get jiggy with you.
I know, what if she still mark off the door?
I wouldn't trust that person.
Where she provides you reference.
Why am I talking? I'm too tired for it.
No, you too.
Because we like to
Just give this guy a line of coke and he'll be ready to go.
That's true.
we gotta check you out to Bobby's. He said,
I don't think there's what's.
Bobby's is a bar in Fresno. But at night it's a club.
Can I go see the door?
I mean, it's basic, because there's,
Bobby's,
What does it
Mescal.
smell like in there?
sports.
Your dorm, your like, your room?
So, that's
I
the
haven't
door,
been to that
that's the hall.
Oh,
What is
really?
your,
Just like sport, it's in there, that's
what is your
I
exact?
didn't like it so hard.
it's
Yeah,
normal,
like in
we
your.
have the AC on, but if it's
Like,
like-
not
It's
in your,
an
like,
empty room,
really?
there's no decorations or anything.
I didn't know that.
Sometimes-
No, but I went like.
Okay, so how you guys doing so far? Nobody's ready to jump off bridges yet, right?
I'm caught up, so
Okay,
Don't die.
wait till I say I'm ready.
so, you guys ready? Are you sure? Okay,
Like after you say one step,
pay attention now.
Okay, outside it smells like.
What was that? No, we got a little ways to go. We're gonna be here, it's gonna be a night.
It's already.
Okay, so you're gonna put an equal sign.
okay. Equal sign.
Equal sign. Everybody see the equal sign, right? Okay, so we're gonna go all the way to Dr. Pepper in, okay, temperature in Kelvin. So we're gonna scroll over. And we're gonna go to Dr. Pepper in temperature in Kelvin. Okay, everybody get that? You're gonna select it. Okay, and then you're gonna have it highlighted. Yours is gonna be a different letter because you didn't have group, that first group, right? So you're gonna be off by 1.
Something weird.
Okay, now you're gonna hit minus, the minus sign. Okay, everybody hit minus?
Dr. Pepper and tip.
What was that?
Dr. Pepper and tip.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right, and you hit minus, right? Okay, so then you're gonna go to Dr. Pepper Start 10, right? And then you're gonna click onto that one. So it should be D2 minus J2.
So Dr. Pepper and Chem, right?
Yours is E2? Okay, let me go take a look.
Mine says J2 for some reason.
Yours is off because you don't have that first column, remember?
So that's gonna change that too.
That's gonna change where we're at, so,
Equal.
yeah, so, but then come over here, in tip, minus, and then I.
There's also a vending machine.
Okay.
But they
Hit
don't
return.
refill it during the holidays.
Okay.
So for the whole summer.
No,
I was
hers is
there.
gonna be different than yours, because yours ends
I
at
finished all the
O,
coffee.
hers ends at N, because she has one on. So put equal. Oh, minus, so yours is K2
But it's like. they-
minus J2, minus
At the time, it was like.
J2. So it'll be, yeah, you can enter it that way. Hit enter.
General's closed.
Okay, and then check them out. Okay, everybody else is good, right? You've already, you guys got it? Hit enter. Okay, you guys are good?
Is that it?
You guys are good? Okay, go ahead and hit enter. Yes, that looks good.
I got an O. I got this one.
That's what it takes to get right?
Okay, so again, this is in Celsius right here, right? This is in
Because
Kelvin.
then you always, I was like, what are you responding? I was like, just like AC. He's like,
What is easy here?
no, it's like something like water. It's like, okay.
Well, I mean, it's like traditional houses, there's like, you have a fan, you have a like ceiling fan, but you don't have ventilation. Or you do, but then there's the money issue, like actually turning that on. Because I'm Mexican, my mom doesn't like paying for the AC. Also, it's broken. So proper ventilation sucks unless you open the window. That's why there's a fan.
Are you at the bottom or the top? Like you're going right?
There's no fan, but we have an AC.
No, like your room. Is it located at the top or at the bottom? Your room, like your room? Isn't there like bottom room, middle room, the top room?
Oh, there's no basement. There's 2 floors, and that's it.
So you're floor one, what room?
9.
Floor one, room 9.
Yeah, you're not gonna find it outside.
I'll find it.
You'll find it.
And I'll break the door and I'll see.
You know, it's like I send complaints about like fixing stuff, like Chem fixes already. And they say, well, we have a lot of people, and their room is a less priority. So,
I'm
because
gonna put in a work order right now. You want it to
that's
see?
exactly, that's what I did, I put on a wood work. The problem is, it's just a mosquito strip, not something broken like glass.
You know what you should do? Go get another spoon from someone else and just trade them.
That would be amazing, but I'm too tired.
So if I apply for the dorm, can it be a room?
Then you don't really want
Well, it's like, technically, yes, if you're like an ex-recipient. I was supposed to have roommates, 2 of them have left because they don't want to pay for the dorms,
How much are they?
6 something?
6,000.
No, they're not 6,000.
Well, I mean, I have no idea, because financially it pays for it.
Unless, it probably doesn't know.
Can I pay for your dorm?
I mean, yes,
Like bank.
I mean, you can pay for the other half.
I think it's like less than $700.
Wait, what is-
That's how much it was.
No, that's, I think that's without the meal plan. The meal plan is 6,000.
Wait, what if we go to Dollar General? What if we walk into Dollar General? And you see me like sitting on the streets?
Probably
And
wait.
you see me on the streets homeless, would you let me inside your dorm?
Why? Because you're homeless.
Wait, you're gonna give me a home?
Yeah, why are you homeless?
I'm discriminatory.
No, because like I go wait for this, like leave this classroom and I become homeless. As soon as I step out the dorm, would you help me or not?
I'm racist.
What if I just walk out the door?
Plus, I can't let a random person in.
Oh, that's no follow-up question.
And also, there's
More
the
like a
security.
liability. Like if you don't live there, you're staying there. It's like,
Also,
what happens to it?
and I also have hundreds of thousands of dollars in it. Or
Don't tell you that.
I'm kidding, I've had hundreds of them.
He's like, I'm kidding.
700. I'm really
$700. It's all
Yeah.
V-Bucks, huh?
No,
It's on Monopoly one.
actually, my sister, her ex-boyfriend, my sister's ex-boyfriend. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Fortnite has something interesting, alright? My sister's ex-boyfriend had 16 kids, but that wasn't an issue apparently.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah,
Are you lying?
no,
16.
yes,
How many
he's
were
Mexican.
Okay, how you guys doing?
How many were
No, just two.
Yes.
Yes. And they got into the argument and she kicked them out and all this stuff was left to me. So I got to keep his $500 console, which is a PS4. And all he ever used it was for Fortnite. So obviously I'm not gonna play it. I deleted this account.
So how'd you get a PS5 like on your own?
Yeah, on my own. That was like years ago. So
Yeah.
the only reason I'm into
But it was faster.
the only reason I'm into games now is because my sister.
Wait, how
That's
does
the only reason I'm into games now.
how does the PS5 benefit you instead of wait, how does the PS5 benefit you instead of financially exposed towards your books?
Well,
You guys are free.
because of the new system on PS5, it actually saves the time. So it's creating more time for studying or playing.
You get what people online.
No, there's the option to. You don't play with people.
Why?
Because socializing sucks and all. It's why I don't like MMOs because they're socializing. An MMO is a massive, online game, and it requires you to socialize. No, that also requires socializing.
Yeah, but that's what makes it fun. You meet people that have the same interests as you.
But the issue is that you gotta find those people with interests, and that's what requires socializing. Finding people to socialize with requires socializing.
But your position is already.
It's good to socialize. That's why you can start a family.
That is.
That's how my girlfriend.
Oh, it's hard.
I don't like it.
You that
Yes. Fair. It's just an anime. No. I mean, if it was like 12-year-old me, I would have put killer guy, but that was taken. And then I used it. It's like, here's the thing, like you're a kid. When you make accounts, you don't remember any of them. Yes. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
There's no reason to freak out. Okay, I'm proud of it. I wasn't good about you. I just needed to recount what you said.
Wait, Goku kills? I mean, this guy that's like, you know, her cancer is wrong, so he fights her. Some kids are like, Goku. It's like, don't you just hate those? Like on Twitter, it's like someone says something positive, and there's a guy that's like, can't be Goku. Like someone survived a horrible event by fighting a bear. It's like, can't be Goku. So somebody rescued a cat, have 6-degree burns, can't be Goku. But yeah,
I don't remember this.
We didn't do the whole.
my glasses, but I don't wear them. But I should probably start wearing them now.
Doesn't it make you a headache?
You should have still shown on your computer a lot.
Because I want to look normal, you know.
What were you trying to say?
But it's the issue is
What were you
that
trying to say?
I chose
I
old
looked at
man
myself, I looked
glasses.
at you and I was
They
like,
don't look great. I chose like old ass.
Feel like a different brain.
Exactly. Problem is, I have a prescription and I can only change it like every 2 years. I can only
The
get a new
next
one.
set, so
Maybe if it's
can you guys do the next set?
Get a new frame. Yeah, I'll probably do that.
And do the final set. Okay,
America sucks. Gotta pick fair.
I've got an auto
We gotta
fill.
pick no insurance.
Where's your last one?
And then even then, it's like, oh,
Okay, so the next set's gonna be equal. We're gonna do the diet end minus the diet start.
the diet end and the minus start.
Okay? And then we're gonna hit
Diet
enter.
end and the minus start. The diet end.
Okay,
I have giant.
it's the diet end
The diet end.
minus,
Minus start.
yes, diet end minus diet start. Yes.
You can just do this.
Why is,
I don't know what you're gonna do. but you could just go like
First
this.
one?
oh, the dictionary keeps
This
popping
one
up.
here.
You
Okay.
guys ever have math books during high school?
Okay, so
Like,
in this case, this is for the Dr. Pepper. Okay, so for the Dr. Pepper, we're gonna enter equal.
minus.
We're gonna go to over here where we have our very first value for Dr. Pepper and pepper.
The diet end minus.
Okay, so then we're gonna select this one. You guys see the one that's highlighted? Okay, we're gonna select that. We're gonna hit minus, right? And then we have to scroll over a little bit so that we can see the start. And we're gonna select the start. Then we're gonna hit enter. Right? And then if you haven't done it already, it'll autofill. If not, just drag it down, it will do it for you. Okay. Now, the same thing that we're gonna do for the diet. You're gonna go diet. Diet in. Minus diet start.
Where you go.
Okay, then we're gonna do the sparkling water exactly the same way, right? So we're gonna say equal. Sparkling in minus sparkling start. And hit return. And it's gonna give you the option to autofill. Okay.
Sparkling
In the
and then
dorms,
what?
in the dorms. there's too
Sparkling
many people
and then
trying to socialize.
Sparkling start. So you're taking a change of that particular soda. So it's the end temperature first. Okay, so this symbol here means change. Delta, that means change. So we're looking at the change in temperature. Change in temperature. So that's going to equal T and temperature and minus T start.
Wait, why do you go to Coalinga?
Okay,
You from Alaska?
so, or we can say the final temperature minus the start temperature, right? So we looked at the soda, right? We didn't mix the sodas, did we? No, so we're looking at only the sparkling water temperature, right? So we want to say sparkling water and minus sparkling water start. Okay. If we're looking at the Dr. Pepper and minus Dr. Pepper start. Okay. So you see that, right?
Yes.
Okay, so don't overthink it. It's not that hard. It's just minus. Okay, so we're overthinking it. Think about what makes sense, right? And I want you to think about it. Don't just do it, because if you don't think about it, you're not going to learn it, right? And I want you to learn it because this is going to get us to our next couple of things, right?
Like spreadsheets.
Okay, everybody's good? You got the data?
Yeah.
Graph it.
It's just me.
Girl. You're gonna hit select.
The end, right?
You're gonna select. You're only gonna select certain ones, that's right. So we're gonna select the ones that are changed, right?
Are we supposed to zoom out?
So the change ones, and you're also gonna select the group.
I have a, yes, I have a two million -3.
That's equal, then raise your hand.
For those two
We
and ten, I have a
determine
two.
the changes.
Um,
Then we
that's
do it
two
for
and
everyone.
you have a three.
And then you have the minus.
The change in ten. So only those three, right? Those three columns at the very end. Change in 10.
Or is it zero,
Click the
negative two,
end
and
first,
two?
minus, then start, and then there.
Okay, thank you.
Alright, my eyes.
Dr. Pepper
Those are
changed.
changed in 10. So you didn't change your name. You kept it this time.
Oh,
So that's the reason why. Okay, that's what you were doing, you were calculating.
Yeah.
Yes. Change it so that it says.
Do we have zero?
One of my numbers is different, so I'm like, what the fuck did I
Cause you clicked the wrong.
Let's fix it again.
So I don't know why I have -3 right there and he has a 2.
Maybe I'll get.
How do you do the chart? Or
Bottom, diet changes tab, that's the only
Is
one
it
that's different.
You probably click the start and then end.
Oh, is that, just change it?
Yeah, I'll change it.
so this is what I'm doing my graphic.
You just go insert or you highlight everything?
I don't know, so now I gotta do this graphic, right?
What do you guys think is the best chart type if you're doing comparisons?
What are you doing?
Let's go separate everything, or all
Yeah, it looks crazy, right?
Oh, yeah.
You got a couple of them.
Alright, there it is.
Yes. I'll be with you.
For the chart, you just highlight everything and then just hit insert.
Oh, yeah.
Well, because I put the right one.
I know, but now a whole column is missing.
Oh, well then just do it again for the next column.
I have negative thing. You're figuring.
So, insert chart.
Sora Online is the best. And issue, it's like, they were anime fans, kids, like during the 2012s, like in middle school. And.
Just insert chart.
What are you doing?
Are you making your chart?
Oh, wait, shit. You got me for chart.
Can you go?
Might as well have one plus one.
Oh, no, make your chart. I'll look at it. Thank you.
Is that it?
Yeah, thank you.
So wait, how do you make the chart?
Insert and then chart.
No, but like, what data set?
I.
He hasn't told us the pattern.
And
Are we supposed to highlight anything?
You good?
yeah,
What do we highlight?
control or command,
But what do we highlight?
group,
You do what you do for the last.
and then.
Oh, group, just groups?
Huh?
Just group?
Groups.
Okay, all of them. And then. Which is all of them? So Dr. Pepper start tab, Dr. Pepper end tab?
Dr. Pepper, Diet Dr. Pepper, and.
Yeah.
So like,
All of them. Just these three, now we just. Yeah.
and then
Yeah. And then just like. I put the. that one. The first one. And then I customize. Then to. Like.
Yeah, it is crazy.
font.
There you go. Okay, so I want you to label your charts. Everybody has their charts labeled.
Yeah.
The axes labeled.
Yeah.
Okay, so your groups.
Which ones you had a group?
Well, I'm trying to read it middle column because it doesn't match.
It's,
1, 0,
No, isn't it like?
Okay, did you guys all include your groups when you guys selected? Okay, you see your groups? Yes, ma'am.
No, those are right. Okay, so the one at the end.
If I see you like I'm frustrated, I'm
It's
out
the
of the group.
last or- oh.
I think the group which one is valid, 'cause I didn't put my, I don't know which one's is better.
The last one.
The last one?
Wait, so, do you use aftershave? Yeah.
Did you put it in?
How about like the filter shade? Aren't you supposed to use it? Okay.
Like, come along here.
Oh. Upside down? I don't know.
Well, I mean, yeah, because there's a minus 25, and that's what's creating all this like very bullshit. With the data.
All the columns?
Yes. Yeah, remember it's like-
Oh, yeah, that is a column.
Now it has to win.
Sure.
Now it almost matches. That one. Now I have to try, right?
Yeah, you go back to the beginning. Oh, just.
Oh, it's not.
Yeah, and then just like go over it. I like the last line. Right?
I think.
Why is it upside down?
It's not upside down, this is like. Oh, I thought it
Oh,
was
but you
upside
never
down.
change your temperature from OC to K, right? Like, nine,
Okay, so.
I have one highlighted. Yeah, control. Control F. And I do. So you basically had the group control hold and then.
That's it, right?
And there's a first group name chart.
Thank you.
Oh my God, that was just an owl. Screen, but I can't understand.
Yes, ma'am.
So.
Tarzan.
And Kelly. Kelly.
Sharks.
Okay. Okay, now you may put your columns. You guys have to live with that custom relationship. Yes, sir.
Well, I mean, it's not so dry. Oh, no, the meat.
Okay.
The Joe.
What's supposed to be on the left?
What was that?
Be on the axis on the right.
So my title.
The title, I just put change the temperature. But I just put the temperature. I don't have a possible.
Red one more. This is like the price of sauce and rain.
You should get a Big Mac and replace it with
Are
chicken
you-
nuggets.
What's your favorite burger place?
I see that on TikTok. I haven't tried
Were they
it.
good?
I haven't tried it.
It used to be Campus Drive-In because the burgers were like 349. Now it's 749 for a burger, but the burgers were really good.
Have you had Five Guys? Five Guys?
I love Red Guys.
But expensive.
The next one is Farmer Boy.
Oh, yeah, farmers?
No, because that's the. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh.
My friend Chris took me there and it was horrible. The onion rings were literally just battered. It was like.
Oh,
no
man,
onion.
I suck.
You like chicken?
Okay, well, here's the,
Very like arrogant, right?
here's the issue.
Arrogance,
though.
right? They like support Cam.
As long as the burger's good, I don't care who makes it.
You either
Oh, wait,
care, like, my
wait.
gay friends are like,
Is it
Chick-fil-A's like, yeah, this
Oh, yeah,
is
Chick-fil-A.
like, yeah, showers the bomb.
No, I ate
Chick-fil-A
it
is
once.
racist.
I feel like it's overhyped.
Yeah.
We all do
Honestly,
22, 21, 19.
I don't know.
In 2 years, I'll take
The
a
chicken's
drink.
good. Those are
Hopefully, I'll be alive.
sausage.
It is.
I like that.
But yeah,
I feel
Chick-fil-A
like
is
you
racist.
just get their sauce and then just make the chicken.
They
out.
donate- But here's the issue, Chick-fil-A is racist, but they donate millions and millions of dollars to like politicians that are anti-gay and organizations that want to like remove the kid laws. I shaved this part, just to like remove all that. I didn't do a good job, because I need to go to class.
See what happens.
I feel like
Sometimes
they
they-
have.
And I didn't shave
Oh,
the
okay, so
next
it's like
time.
not technically.
Your mustache is ugly.
Don't you let the whole
There's
thing
no
go.
engineers.
I wish, so I've been trying, man.
Sounds good.
But
The
there's no
ice is
possibility.
20.
Oil? No. Get some paint.
You like Guma? The regular one or the pumpkin?
I don't think I know the difference.
The, it was like some sort of the right. Oh, the original one was like.
So you were.
What is Golden? I know, I've seen it, but like, it's tea,
So what you
It's
do.
a little burritos in them.
it's iced tea.
Sure. It's usually like blended, but you can have it.
That's
Like the.
Oh.
There's like.
You just slurp on
You
it.
got like those ones. I don't
Yeah,
like the
yeah,
dark ones.
we use this. They're chewy.
Wait, so
Like the first time I tried it, this is chicken. And I tried those. They're brown ones.
Bro, you have like.
Okay, so everybody have their data. It looks kind of crazy,
Things around like that.
right? Because there's a couple of groups that did put their temperatures, so we put zero and it was zero. There's nothing there, it assumes that it's zero. So that's why these guys are negative 25, right? Because somebody didn't put their, all the data, right? So if you guys take a look at the data, the very start of the data, they have all of these empty spots, empty, empty, empty. So 2A who's orange, they think it's fireball. They didn't put their temperature, right? Because they didn't put their temperature, it assumes that their temperature was zero. So if you guys look at your graph, take my graph real quick, and then I'll show you. But if you guys were orange, right? So I'll yell at fireball tomorrow.
Are they literally called fireball?
That's the cabinet. Or that's, it was down.
Hey, how old are you, 27?
First of all, I'm about to be 27, so watch your mouth.
Okay, so if you guys take a look, right?
You
That's what she-
graduated in 2017. You're good at
So
math,
the orange group, orange,
right?
and all of those crazy numbers, and so it really makes our data look really, really crazy, right? So now, if you guys look at the data, do we have more that are above the line or more that are below the line? We have a lot more that are below the line. So we did talk about the change in, so was it a chemical change? Our reaction was a chemical change or was it physical change?
Physical. All the carbons escaped. No, it's physical.
Okay.
Why is it physical?
Because all the carbons.
Okay, so it was a physical change because if we wanted to, we could collect all that carbon, right?
Yeah.
And we can put it back into that soda.
Yes.
Okay, so then that makes it a physical change. Now, we know that whether it's a physical change or a chemical change, it requires energy, right? So just the fact we're doing that change is requiring energy. So based upon our data, this will suggest that, well, it's requiring energy, right? So since we have a negative value, are we putting in energy or are we releasing energy? So is it endothermic or exothermic, right? It's a negative value. Is it endothermic or exothermic? So if it's a negative value, that means that the start temperature was greater than the starting temperature. So it will be endo. It will be endothermic. Because the change in temperature is a negative value, right? That's right. That means that it's being absorbed. That's right. So it's an endothermic reaction. Okay. So, and we'll talk about this a little bit more. It's a perspective. Okay. So in other words, our beginning temperature, right,
For my father, who divorced.
was lower than our starting temperature, right? I mean, I'm sorry, our end temperature was lower than our starting temperature. Was lower than our starting temperature. So that means that it's absorbing the energy. So that means that it should be an endothermic reaction.
There was the whole truck that did not have that, it had Fe, which is a lower option of the actual.
Our end temperature, so we're getting a decrease in temperature. We started out, let's say we started out at 32 degrees and it's dropping down to 30 degrees, right? So that means that it's being absorbed. So that means that it's an endothermic reaction. The temperature is being absorbed. Okay? Absorbed. It's coming inside the reaction. It's endothermic. It's pulling the heat from the reaction. It doesn't matter. You can have a physical reaction that is endothermic. You can also have a chemical reaction that is endothermic. So both require energy. Okay?
So the temperature was higher or lower?
So the end temperature, if you look at it, right? Our end temperature was lower than our starting temperature, right? So if you guys look at the equation there, end temperature is lower than our starting temperature. If our end temperature is lower than our starting temperature, is our value going to be a positive or a negative?
Negative.
It's going to be negative, right? It's going to be negative, right? So let's put the numbers in. Okay.
Quick question. So if it's negative, it's automatically endo.
If it's negative, if we have the equation set up as our end temperature
And start.
and then our start temperature, right? Okay, so we're saying that our end temperature is lower than our starting temperature. So our end temperature is 30 degrees. My start temperature is 32 degrees. I subtract it. Is my value going to be -2, right? So that means that we're losing heat, right? So where is that heat going? It's being absorbed in the reaction. Okay. Okay.
Oh, I
So,
see now. That's what.
okay, so if we look at our data, right? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 reaction says that it was exothermic. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, maybe 13, 14, 15, right? 15 says it's endothermic, right? So that will suggest that potentially this is an endothermic reaction.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, you guys see that?
Yeah.
So if you look at the data can tell you a story, right? Now, me personally, I would like it better if they were all below. Yeah, I would feel more comfortable with that. But you have a slight tilt, but it's a significant tilt towards it being endothermic. Okay. And so you would sit there and say, when you're writing your report, it suggests that it could be endothermic. So then you're not definitely saying it is definitely endothermic. The data is suggesting that it may be endothermic, right? Okay, you guys see? Okay. Last thing, we have to work on the flow rate. Whew. We're almost there. The flow rate is easy, guys, right? It's the easiest part.
Sure.
Yeah, because you guys have always had all this training. We struggled, we cried.
Well, I have a side question. Do you think it would have made a difference if those bottles of those drinks were cold?
Oh, yeah, I do believe that they would have made a
I
difference.
think it would have been a bigger explosion.
No,
That's a good question, right? So what is, do you guys, I want you guys to help me out.
Because I don't know why, but when soda's
Um,
warm, it tastes flat, and then when it's cold, it tastes like fizzy.
So you're saying it keeps the fizziness if it's more, okay? So that's interesting, that's a good thought.
that's just
But
drinks in general.
we also know that in terms of molecules,
Because
they
the
move faster.
nastiest school
So
water.
if it's warmer, it
If it's
moves
cold, it's
faster,
good.
right? So it could be that part of the reason why it tastes more flat is because the molecules are moving faster out. So you open the bottle, it's moving faster out,
Oh,
right? Possible, you know,
I
because we
want to
know.
try with a cold one.
Yeah, that would be a good, actually, that would be a pretty cool one. If you had one that was almost frozen, one that's like normal room temperature, and one that's a little hot,
I remember.
maybe one day.
In elementary school, my teacher had like soda bottles with like as an end of the year treat, but they were there for all 365 days.
So that was, yeah, it's fine.
Okay. But she had it in the shelf.
Yeah. Okay, so let's do one more sheet. One more sheet. One more sheet. Okay, how do you add a sheet? Plus sign. Okay, so what are we gonna name this sheet? Flow rate. Okay, so it's a rate. So that means that what are we gonna be using for our flow rate? What data? Volume and flow rate. Rate. You said volume and change? Volume change?
How much?
Yes, we are gonna use volume change, so that's a good point, and
The time it took for it to get out.
time. Because it's a rate, right? So anytime that you hear the term rate, you're gonna be using time and something else. So in this case, we're gonna be using volume and time. Yeah,
Okay.
in this case. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and label that flow rate. I'm gonna put my initials on there. So we have like 50.
It says it already exists, but there's another one. Should I just?
So just put your initials on it, so then you know it's yours, right?
Push up, push up.
Okay, so what am I'm gonna bring it over. You guys know how to bring everything over, so bring over what you need, right?
From yours?
From mine, that's correct,
From yours.
from mine. Hopefully it hasn't changed too much. Okay, so we're gonna get those groups, so those first three columns, right?
Got the first two this time.
We need time. And we need volume.
Is that the only volume there? Or there's, okay, okay.
So diet.
Now, I want you guys to work on something, because I think some of you have issues with confidence. You don't believe in yourself enough to answer the question. I want you to work on that a little bit. And it's okay to be wrong, okay? Especially right now, because right now is a learning. You learn more when you're wrong than when you're right.
So just the time and the volume, right?
Time and volume for each one.
What do you want us to do after we paste this?
I expand
Okay,
it
so
a
then
little bit.
we'll talk. You already got a paste?
Yeah, yeah.
That's good.
I'm
Okay.
like slowly trying to, slowly figuring it out, yeah.
That's good. I like it. Okay, so now I have a question for you guys. So the data that you guys entered here, so was it the volume that was leaving? Or was it the volume that was recovered from the bottom?
It was the volume that was leaving.
So it's the volume that was recovered, right?
What do you mean
Or-
by recovered?
Meaning,
The
what's
total
left in the
remaining,
bottom?
Because,
Okay, so if we're
So that's
if we're
what's
trying
left
to
after
determine the
volume.
flow rate,
Right.
what should we be looking for?
How long it took?
So if we're trying to decode, if we were looking at the flow rate, think about what it says, flow rate,
So how much?
how much left the bottom, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that we're looking for the amount that left the bottom. So I'm asking you a question. The question is, did you guys give me the amount that left the bottle? Or did you guys give me how much was in the bottle?
How much is in the bottle?
Excellent. So that's what we needed to know, right? So we have the amount that was in the bottle, right? So when we set up our equation for the flow rate, so what I want you guys to do is,
So we
Take-
subtracted from 2000?
that's right, we're gonna do that. Give me 1 second, but let's get our labels, right? So again, select diet time, control, select, I'm sorry, Dr. Pepper time, diet time, and sparkling time. Hit. What am I gonna hit to copy those? Control C. And what am I gonna hit to paste it? Control V, right? And everybody did that, right? So you gotta bear with me. I've been up since 4 o'clock this morning, so it's been a long day. So you guys ready for the next part?
yes,
Okay, so we're gonna change those. So we're gonna make sure that they stay selected. We're gonna hit that. How am I gonna go through that process of changing it? Control F. And then 3 dots. Okay, so we're gonna replace time, space, parentheses, seconds, space, parentheses, or no. Sorry, time, space, let me just type.
yeah, please, come on. There it is.
Time. Seconds. Okay, and we're gonna replace that with flow rate. Our units are gonna be volume over time, so what are gonna be my units? Venti. You said venti? What is the units for volume? mLs. Divided by, what is our units for time? Okay. That's all. Hit 3, and we're done. Oh. Okay, so here's the next part, right? So we want that change, right? And you guys told me that we started out with 2,000 milliliters, right?
Yes.
So I'm gonna go 2,000, sorry, equal parentheses, 2,000 minus, then I'm gonna get the volume that I have from the Dr. Pepper.
You click it.
I'm gonna close the parentheses. And then I'm gonna divide it by, the division is gonna be a slash. the time. The Dr. Pepper time. Okay, you should have that up on your board. Everybody have that up on their board.
What was it?
And hit enter. After you have this up on the board.
What was it? What did I add? I did not notice. What did I
Okay.
add? After the equal sign.
After the equal sign parentheses, 2000,
Okay.
subtract, and then
So I
click
hit
the
Dr. Pepper time.
Dr. Pepper time.
Hit
Pepper time.
control, and now
Hold on,
select.
let me-
Because I have G and E instead of E and D.
No, you're not selecting everything, you're just selecting certain ones. Dr. Pepper time. Yes, and then you're gonna select diet time, and then you're gonna select sparkle time.
All right, what was it? What was it? My,
Control C.
No, I think I clicked the wrong column. It's 2000
Yeah,
minus.
C,
Diet.
right there, J. And then now hit control F. So
Where's
time,
the time and then the volume, right?
go up again, time, space. Parentheses, S E C,
Did you get it?
close parentheses, and then go flow rate.
it's not finished.
Space,
Don't press enter.
no, you don't have to do it.
But,
That's gonna be the flow rate. And space, parentheses, ML. ML. Slash.
I don't want.
Uh,
This is a rental, okay?
close parentheses.
School?
Okay, slide all. Great.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so then you're gonna type it. Okay,
Like, they slowed down the drop, but it scratched.
so after you hit enter, everybody hit enter. After you. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Okay, okay, good, right there. Now hit. Yep.
Why are British being so sad? The Mexican ones are amazing. Wait, beans on toast is what the
What
British eat,
slash?
They're sugary.
they're sweet. And also potatoes, but not actually.
This one,
I don't know how to make potatoes like
They eat like it's World War II.
yes, you're gonna have to do it. Because, you know, the
Have you
sparkling
seen
water
it
was
though? That does not look like,
1,200.
that looks like something from the
Yes.
1900s.
Yeah, but our company.
Only said it's
Like quesadillas, like hamburguesa, it's like.
That's not our food, like.
That is
it's like-
good food.
Yeah, but like broke time food, it's like what's comforting for people.
McDonald's is comfort food, except it makes you sad, so you stop. So you stop, it's no longer comfort food. Instead, you go to somewhere, I don't know, a Chinese
Comfort food
restaurant.
for me is like broken time food, like something like.
I don't know where.
Comfort food for me right now is Chinese.
It's
food.
recommended
I don't
1,200.
know if it's thing or.
I know it's like from my childhood, but like.
Like one.
I don't remember Chinese food, except quesadillas. The issue is, I don't have a stove.
And then,
I keep telling you, you just don't listen to me. Oh, get one of those burners I could take time.
How would I? Because like I live in the warm.
Can you use it over there?
A burner? No,
Yeah.
we'll see.
burner is their gas.
Or you can get a small individual little crock pot.
No,
Put
because
it in there in the night and in the morning it burns.
I'm pretty sure they don't know anything.
I
think they-
Figure it out.
I should figure it out. The issue is,
Or Martha Stewart would have known how to make food in the microwave. I've made like poached eggs in the microwave before.
I just eat hot dogs.
Oh, and then type in.
Or I get Chinese food, because New China restaurant.
So what's your plan? Once you take this class, you're gonna go to your dorm and just sleep?
Yes, or no, actually, I'm gonna go to Dollar General, get that, mango juice, whatever. You know, it's like. What is it? It's like the blue thing, like the blue bottle, but it's made out of like cardboard.
Oh,
Oh,
did I do that wrong?
And then
No,
there's
no,
mango,
I feel
and strawberry, banana.
That's not-
That's all right. So.
And it costs $1. It costs $1.
Second or email?
And it's a
No,
fuck
that's-
ton. It's a fuck ton. So I'm gonna get some of those, put in my fridge, wake up, drink that, and then go to class for an hour, and then go to Huron because I have doctor's appointment. It's 1 light years.
Now that's for.
Here a little less on this side.
And then,
And then
parentheses.
there's the sleeping shoes. Yes.
And then.
It leaves at 11:07. That's the earliest you can go to Huron. If you're on, there's a bus from 9.
Wait, if my mom makes.
She's
We only
gone.
did time to.
She'll be at work.
You copied it.
My mom is gone.
Maybe we can.
Yeah. So I did it wrong. Again?
Yeah.
I needed to check my, I'm not too sure if I did it right.
This time?
So what happened?
So I,
I don't know. It just says something
Click
wrong.
undo. Go back.
I can't.
Why not? Let me see.
It just says something wrong.
Click a different tab. Are you sure? That's it, right?
I love how I was panicking. I was thinking of panicking. I was panicking because I was like.
Yeah, you did it wrong.
Anytime it says it doesn't match.
Just highlight
Yours
it.
is long. And
Oh, yeah, also, remember the Lords of the
yeah,
Fallen? Okay, good, because I was terrible.
Just make a new tab.
They're rebooting the series, and all they gave us was a CGI trailer.
it's slow rate, right?
Yes.
Sure, I can get to
It was a good trailer.
for your tent. For your flow rate, for the tent that you have to type that's flow rate.
There's more than one flow rate.
I have flourish, glory,
I gotta make it.
glory.
For flow rate, what do you have this?
And to get started.
After this, don't.
That was amazing.
Oh, yeah. Chickens.
Yeah, exactly. The numbers, you know, where.
Remember like in the pandemic,
Okay, how you guys doing? Everybody?
all the ham was gone, but the good stuff was still there, like nobody kind of touched it during the pandemic.
I got you.
Okay, so I'll come back.
You want to talk?
I don't want to show.
Okay, so do me a favor. go to the
Yeah,
other
we know
one.
that's, what was it, Chipotle?
Oh, these are- No, I'm done with everything.
You'll be hungry.
You can go. Oh, you're trash. Okay. So let me get her first.
Saturday,
You
late in the morning,
get
I'm
to
gonna
the
go work.
sheets.
Oh,
Into your-
What are you giving me now?
So, yeah, if you go to your
And
Google
then
Docs,
sometimes like, see this? Okay.
it saves it automatically.
No? You ever see this?
So all the work you do.
I'm probably honest, but I do like take your glasses in your face. What are you driving?
So you gotta help around.
Was it on Saturday?
Agree.
And they charge us or charge me or something.
Okay.
She was like, I'm not gonna try this.
Because you look on this site.
It's like, that was so sweet, thank you. It's like- Because sometimes I'm not trying to practice it. It's like my favorite.
Okay, so now.
But I'm gonna have Saturdays and Sundays off now, so
What if you're gonna see him? If you go, I'll see you all the
Oh,
this time.
My dog. You got it? So something just look, see, what is that? What is that? Oh, that's right.
Talk about, like, you know, loyal customer.
Listen,
Okay, so
I'm-
it's a tortilla,
It's also.
like a flour tortilla, right? And then like beans and lettuce and whatever else you want it to be, and then one crunchy salad. You just hold it, you press it, oh, and nacho cheese.
Not just Mexican.
And then it's like a white version.
No, it's like for years, my mom told me like when we were eating tacos, that it was like ham, what is it, beef? And then one day she just told me, oh yeah, you were actually eating fish. Because I hated fish.
That's what I'll
Oh, but I always be there on Fridays and Saturdays.
But here's the thing, it was white, it was white, I don't know why.
So these all things.
But I only open.
Yes.
Other things I work at 9 to 6.
Okay, so let's go ahead.
Him and then the guy. But no matter what, they still.
Oh my God. Why don't you remove that? You gotta remove that. You gotta remove the dictionary. It sucks.
No.
And then.
I think I remember. I woke up in the morning, like right and early.
Right,
And then
yeah.
you put cons, you don't just put cons.
I was like, oh, I'm hungry, and I have to go to work, so I was starting at 7:30.
You get a bacon, right?
I'm gonna use this keyboard.
Bacon and
Cons,
And
and
then
parentheses,
a couple times they didn't even ask me,
and
I wanted
replace
to
it
on.
with flow
So
rate.
they just gave me hash browns. I was like, I want two. And I was like, hash brown didn't
Flow
feel
rate.
ready. But I'm like, fine, I'll
Space.
just like sometimes.
And in parentheses, ML.
So it is.
slash. And then replace all. And then like all the spacing, you know, to do that with the top left corner.
It's always sanitary.
Alright, what were we saying? Mexican food. Alright, but yeah, I don't know why, I saw the white
Okay.
meat on the tacos. I think that was
So now you can type in.
Sure doesn't got one.
Also, I hated beans for the longest time.
Mom likes them, and she does.
Okay, here you guys
So
go.
it's like, the thing is, like, they make all these beans, all these beans, nobody eats it. And then she just stores it in the
What you
fridge.
should do when you make them.
I'm not making these.
Okay, let me.
I don't know how to store it.
Okay, so that's.
You have way too many.
Here's the thing, is the food in the cafeteria is good, it's really good, I suppose. No, I'm the middle. I have 2 sisters, 1 brother, but they're a dipshit.
Oh.
And I really don't know.
Thank you.
And they curse the worst. My dad always but he still pays for my data plan. He still owns the deeds to the house that my mom pays for. And he still asks for payment.
Yeah.
What is it? It's a flow?
Flow rate.
No, the top one. When you change it from what to what?
What?
Like this, right? Flow rate.
What are you doing?
No, like when we do this. What we're right here. We don't. What we're right there.
Oh, time and second. Well, time.
I mean, not due until like what?
That was what was originally. Why? Did you mess up?
Oh, yeah.
No, you replaced time and seconds with the rate.
Did you do this?
I've never done it yet. Because he hasn't told us to do that yet.
Someone else already started doing it. I'll try it.
Really? What is that? How in the fuck do you do it though?
They were supposed to do the same thing for all of the colors.
So
I think it's like this.
sorry.
Oh, I did that.
I was trying to talk to someone.
I don't know.
Okay. Everybody has their data? Right, you did all the columns? I still, hey, you guys can't be packing up yet, it's only 9:30, right? I still have time, I'm taking this time. Okay, so, do me a favor, pull out your sheets. So you've done all three, right? Everybody's done all three. Your, the sheet for the lab report. Good question, the sheet for the lab report.
What was wrong?
Oh, so it's supposed to be part of it?
Wait. Wait, what?
Yeah.
Put on the stuff, I do not have to, I do not have to, the 17.5. So that's the category.
Check, see what you put it.
Oh, no.
Was that?
I don't know.
Okay. Because usually what happens is that you probably put sparkling time instead of diet time. I'll take a look here.
How about what was the math?
It's the volume minus,
The Dr. Pepper?
so the 2000 minus whatever volume is.
Wait. So, volume minus. Oh, I did wrong. Shit.
Okay, everybody has their paper out? Okay. The lab report, how you write your lab report. Everybody has that out? Excellent. Okay. I'll help you out. Yes, okay, everybody has it out? Good. Okay, so let's go through it real quick. So when I'm writing my lab report, what is going to be my title? Mentos Geyser report. Perfect. Okay, yeah, that one. Perfect. Yes. That one. Okay, so then the purpose. What was the purpose? We talked about this last week. Or purpose of the lab. What is the purpose of this lab?
There is a scientific
Okay, did you guys write that down the last time, right?
Yes.
So what you're gonna do, you're gonna type that in your lab report, right? For the purpose.
For the first one, you write the title, and then the second one.
So, and this is for your, this is gonna be for your formal lab report. You're gonna be typing this in. It's gonna be a typed report, right? So, part 4, right? That's gonna be what you should have uploaded to the website, I mean, to Canvas already for the lab. Everybody did that, right?
Yes. Only one person.
You will, right? So it will be done by Saturday night, right? Before Saturday night, like as soon as you get home. Not the Google, no, not the Google Doc. The Google Doc was so that we can all do this, right? That was something different. So what you should have uploaded to Canvas was that lab that you guys worked on. Did you guys put your data? Did you guys have a hard copy of your data written down? Did somebody? Yeah, so one person collected all the data, but didn't share it with everybody. So you want to make sure that everybody has a copy of that, right? Because that data needs to go in your lab. You need to take a picture of it and share it with everybody, right? Because you're going to put that picture in your lab report, right? Everything else is going to be typed except for that part. When you're doing science, you're going to always show your raw data, right? Your raw observations, because you want people to know that you're an honest scientist, right? And that you're not bullshitting stuff. Yes, well, just let me spit and answer the question. The reason I wanted you guys to answer the questions is because you're gonna have to answer the question in the formal lab. If you've already done it, all you have to do is polish it up, type it up and polish it up, right? And that's what you should do. Every lab report, every lab that you guys do, you want to go through, read it, and answer all of the questions. It's gonna be riddled with typos, right? I promise you, because I have a lot of typos. I'm a scientist, right? I have typos, okay? But still try to answer the questions to the best of your ability. If you don't understand the question, let me know. Right? Ask me. I'll try to help you out. Okay. So then, after you put that raw data, right? Okay, then we're gonna do our results. Now you just did your results. Now the thing is, you want to sit there and tell the reader what they should be looking at, right? So let's say, for instance, we're looking at that height. Okay, so we have our nice little table there, right? We're gonna take an image of that, right? And you guys can sit there, if you select the dots, like you select the table, you select the dots on the table, it'll allow you to save that image. You can also import this into a Google Doc, right? Where you can type, you can have your lab report typed up, okay? So once you have that image there, you tell me what's happening in that image. You tell me what I should be seeing, right? Because you're the expert.
So we're explaining.
You're explaining what's going on and why you believe, what do you guys believe happened here? What happened here at the height? Okay, so the diet was the most reactive, right? So we said the diet was the most reactive because it has the highest height. So clearly we can see that the diet was the most reactive because the majority of the sodas and the groups that did the experiment clearly show the highest height in the diet, right? Simple, brief, to the point, good, right? Then you go with the next part. It was the temperature, right? So tell me a little bit about the temperature. What did you guys notice about the temperature? You told me earlier, it was what? It was endothermic. So based upon the data, the reaction seems to be an endothermic reaction. Still a physical reaction, but yet it's endothermic. Period. We're good to go. Then we go to our next data set. So you use the data to sit there and guide the reader to what you want them to think, right? And you just basically show them. Right? Now you don't want to bullshit them, right? So if you sit there and your data's all crazy, then you say, well, you know, the data's inconclusive. Okay? So that covers the results section. Okay? Then the conclusion, the money section, because the conclusion is the one When I don't have time to read everything, guess what I'm gonna read? The conclusion.
That's not mine.
So you want to make sure that you go to the conclusion. You want to briefly state your purpose and your hypothesis. You want to evaluate your hypothesis. Was it right? Was it wrong? How many people said the diet was the best? Anybody say the diet was the best? It was the highest.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So it was that your hypothesis?
Yep.
Okay. So then you would say, well, my hypothesis was right. The diet was clearly superior to all of the other sodas, right? Call it a day. Now, if something went wrong, you want to tell me that something went wrong, right? You dropped the Mentos.
Twice.
Yes. I licked the Mentos twice, right? And then I put them in, right? So whatever happened, right? Okay. You want to answer the questions. You took the time to write out the answers in those questions because you guys were sitting there thinking about this. It was troubling you, you're back in your head, right? You want to answer those questions, right? So you want to type in those questions, okay, or the answers to those questions, right? Complete sentences, but still brief. Okay. What was that?
In the conclusion.
And the conclusion, yes. If we have an unknown, what I mean by unknown is if I have a metal that, let's say, I wanted you to discover what it is, and I said, I'm giving you metal X, right? Well, you don't know what metal X is, you would say, and you do these experiments and you determine that metal X is iron, right? So then you would say metal X is iron. So X being the code for that metal. Okay. So, but you guys don't have any unknown for this lab report. If something went wrong, this is, again, something went wrong, tell me why it went wrong. You licked the Mentos, that's the reason why it went wrong, nothing worked out, you licked it. Okay? Okay. In your own words, what did you learn from this lab? What did you learn from this lab?
It's a cool reaction.
It's a cool reaction. What else? It was fun. What was that?
Directions are specific for
Okay.
a reason.
We lost carbon dioxide. Yep.
Get diet.
Get dieting when I was on time.
What they fucking
That
said.
can go a lot of ways. Huh?
But I have this recording of what they
Are you
said.
calling me fat? Okay, number 7.
Extension example.
I talked to you guys already about number 7. How do you get your credit? Okay, peace. I'll see you guys. I do.
One is from her, like, the first one she said was like, like an idea.
If anybody's interested, there's office hours.
She said
You
this
click
one
the link.
first.
During that time, that I'm supposed to have office hours, I'll be there. If I'm not
Wait.
there,
But then
text
this
me.
one I think is a little
Oh my
more-
God.
Okay, it's probably before that. I'm on my way.
So it's supposed to be started after.
Yeah. Did she do Twitter?
No, you have to actually.
She did, I didn't go yesterday. She's off today. This week, 'cause she- Yes.
Dr. Henry?
Yes.
So
Wait,
calculations.
let me this, let me help.
All right, pretty sure I figured out what I can do with
The
that.
volume.
I need to make sure it's not wrong.
Sparkling volume.
Okay, so just compare your answers to my answers. Let me get to the.
Yeah, I don't see it. though.
Yes, because I'm on the rush.
Yeah. Sorry for being very rude. I'm getting agitated right now.
We're asking.
Taking medications.
Give me 1 second. And I saw
Morning.
2000 minus, and then click the float number, the first float number, or the volume, yeah, sorry, the volume and number, divided sign, and then click the time next to it on the left. And then click back over here and hit enter.
Shit, that's taking way too long.
It was supposed to be the chart for this too, huh?
Okay.
The chart for this too.
Yeah, there's supposed to be a chart for each one. And the charts are gonna go in our report.
All right, the data sheet is right here. All right, it's right here on the top of the Mentos data link on the website. It's Canvas.
I thought you should write it.
It's right there.
the data sheet is right here.
All right. Then, best be going now.
Okay,
I think so, yeah. Tomorrow? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because it's such
Yes. But wait,
So we're.
no, no, no.
okay, so let's.
So then,
So what went wrong with this?
and then do I do the same thing over
Okay.
here?
So that is a minus, and then you come over here to volume.
Minus the
So that
volume
one
for
is
that
fine.
drink.
These are all fine. Okay,
Diet, so
so
yeah,
they're
diet
exactly
volume.
the same.
But the
Come over
issue
here.
is that when I did it for this one, and then all of these.
They're all fine. All those,
Yeah, and go back over there and click.
It's an issue.
what does it create an issue?
It was an issue.
Yeah.
Okay, but there's not an issue now,
And then
right?
click the check size.
Okay, and so all your data were exactly the same that I had up there.
Yeah, so that matches my diet now.
Okay, now breathe, okay? Okay, okay, so now come over here. Click here.
Yeah, volume
Okay, so
first.
now
and
let's take a
then
look. Click on it so we can actually see what you've done. So
And
we
then I
have
click on
2,000 minus F.
No, you're
right?
supposed to divide.
Look what F is. That's 14 seconds. Is that what it's
Now
supposed to be
look at the
minus?
time.
It's
And now,
supposed to be minus the volume. Click on it again over here. Okay,
What did
so
you
now
do?
select the F.
you have to do this.
Select the F.
Oh, you're so smart. Yeah, that works.
Okay,
It's not?
now you want to, that's right.
Why did you? skip
Oh, yeah,
it?
So
yours is-
come up here, do it up here.
Hold on.
Oh, yeah, just go through.
Wait, I have a question. So for the lab report, are we supposed to copy paste the charts that we just made right now?
Yes.
Oh, you just have a little one, that's fine.
And how long is each one of these like responses supposed to be? Like specific, like,
It just depends. It depends on what you need to say. You want to try to keep it brief, but you want to make sure that you're giving me all the information, right?
Okay.
just to be clear for number 4, it's our raw like
That's
picture
right.
of our.
That's right, what
Ugly
you've
handwriting?
done. Exactly. I want the ugliest, yeah.
And then for this, you're just supposed to like chop the video down, edit it together and just upload it.
Mhm.
But I can share that with like the rest of my group, right?
Mhm.
No,
So, but you can share it with the
someone
rest of your group. They can't use your link. You can share the
Oh.
video, right? They need to upload their own
To their own YouTube channels?
to their own YouTube channels. yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because I want them to pub to their friends. You guys don't have the same friends. So you guys all, well, you guys might be attached at the hip, but not all you guys are attached. If you are, hey, more power to you, but
So I could just send them the edited video and then they just upload it wherever they want.
yeah.
What's wrong with this one?
I'll try to edit the video and just send to you.
Let's see, it
I'll
says,
try to do that today.
okay,
Sounds good.
where's the volume? Now hit return. It looks good. Oh, wait.
So many
Put
flowers.
the number in again.
I'm
It's not 2,000 here, because remember that was a smaller volume.
No, I mean.
It was
we haven't done, like,
1,000,
Something like.
so 1,210, it kind of. There you go.
That's pretty
much each of
these questions.
That's your church.
All right,
Yeah.
thank you.
So that's
You're
what-
welcome. It's
So we don't need any of the
$575.
words,
I
we
just
just
put
need the
Dollar
charts.
General was enclosed in.
So we did
Well, it
all,
probably is.
we did all that
No,
for the
it's
chart.
supposed
Yeah, we
to
did all that
be-
work for the
That's
charts.
kind of why
So
I
then,
want to
but
leave
then
it.
on the lab, we just.
Well,
added
but
these
you have
questions,
class till.
And
Of
it's
course,
our
So
but
then
then
you
you
either,
let us out
then you
early.
either- then you
Like
either-
for number
you can't
1?
assume that always. You're
What do you have
supposed
to
to
do?
be
You
here
don't gotta
till
work
10.
tomorrow.
So,
I was trying to solve them questions, but,
so you should plan on it before then.
Wait, what?
I forgot there's a little folder in this.
Oh,
stuff.
that.
Uh-huh.
Very helpful.
No, I just want a juice. Bro,
You can go across the street to the.
no, but they don't have,
Oh, the certain ones?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say you had a question, and you have a question, right?
Wait, so what's the question that we're supposed to upload tonight? What the hell is that? Remember that's supposed to be a question? What is that?
It's,
The lab.
Yeah, what is that?
It's not this, that we just said.
No,
Yeah.
so remember you're supposed to go to the thing, like click on the link, like where's the questions that we're supposed to upload tonight? Everyone else gets out.
But we'll- I'll- with it, do the rest of it.
And we went to like, live, and then so we do like. Do you guys sit here? I was like.
It's a flash.
there was something about.
I represent.
So I.
Oh, yeah, also I need source back, like a little like tags.
I don't even have my wallet. I don't even have my wallet. Why? Because I don't have my wallet.
Save that.
What? No, it's in my room. I didn't plan on buying juice.
Great heavens.
Take care of my-
Always be prepared.
Sorry for being agitated today.
Fine, dude. Just take care, brush your hair.
And also take my meds early. I didn't take in the morning, but I took it at night.
Where'd you go? I have a question about the questions.
Bye, son.
Bye. See you Monday.
Like, better finish that lab. I'll edit the video and then I'll send it to you guys.
But
So you guys can upload
wait,
it.
he has to do the tonight vote?
What am I supposed to do?
We're supposed to.
Oh, we're gonna ask him, we have to finish some questions tonight. That's
What,
what we're
like,
asking.
oh, question?
Yeah.
What question?
So this, swallow it out, let's try it. Okay. I gave you a periodic table.
Yes.
The units, the first chapter, so each chapter 2, 3, 1, 2, 2, and you got chapter 3.
You said that there was questions that were supposed to. Where is it?
Okay, so do me a favor, you have the. There's answer to questions that you have. Okay, read this. Are there any questions? You can actually answer them right here, right? So the lab, what you guys need to do, you guys need to show me, in addition to doing the lab, you've got to show me that you actually read the lab and did the lab. And that means answer the questions. Okay? So you need to fill these out, and then you're gonna upload, right? So.
Wait.
And that's the one that I want. I want the ugly one. I want the ugly one.
Organized ugly looks better. Thank you. I just want to make sure. The one on the lab paper.
Yes.
Today will be. I think I'm gonna have the same question, right? When I first. I was really saying something about uploading, right? But is that the same as you saying to upload the raw data?
No, the raw data needs to go in your lab, right? So again, this here, right, this is your raw data right here. Right here. Yeah, dude, I want it to look nice. It has to look ugly. It's supposed to be done while you're working on the experiment. It needs to look ugly. Okay. Okay.
So with what?
Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna take this whole paper, right? You're gonna put this is gonna be your lab report, and it's gonna be your formal lab report, and it's gonna be in the lab. So you need to submit this for your lab. That shows me that you've done that lab, right? And then you're gonna, there's not, you guys don't have a tab for your formal lab report yet. That one's for 300 points, right? It'll come up. I'll be putting it up here soon.
So this page.
So like.
Sorry.
Is this a physical or chemical reaction?
Okay.
Explain. Temperature.
I'll put it
effect,
up.
So like. Do you want to?
So you take a picture of it.
You expect the results of the soda.
No, so this, yeah, so this is how I'm gonna use, sit there. So it's not gonna apply for this from Rick, this actually valid for this.
Okay, well, I'll try one.
Yeah, I'll fix that, yeah, so.
Do you know the extra credit you have? The reason why I was, I guess, unaware of what we should do was because I was like,
It's on the module.
the canvas, like, it's almost like a little assignment thing that, I didn't see it until later.
It's supposed to be
And
on our
I have
raw
a picture with you, a picture of the room, is that all right?
Yeah, so just look.
Because I don't want to figure out.
Yeah, that's all right. I just-
It's okay. All right, that's all.
Okay.
Thank you so
No
much.
problem.
Tonight.
I was like, you there, what are you talking
I
about?
was there, but I didn't do exactly as the instructions.
Yeah, so we gotta work on that.
Yeah, we
right?
will. I'll check regularly.
Okay, good. Yes, we've got to work on the instructions. I gotta do a better job of explaining as well, so I'll work on that. Okay, okay, you guys have a good night.
Oh, fine.
I know, me too. At 10 o'clock, I am already, so you guys are anxious, I am twice as anxious.
So it's we put all answers.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll do the picture. There was just.
Yes.
I just wish I had this one.
If you, how many times do you want me to explain it?
You already.
I'm gonna go off, right? I explained it 15 times, right?
You don't have a lot of time. You don't pay attention.
Well, I mean, obviously. I don't think I'm.
Then you can't say he's not explaining it.
I mean, that's
You
why.
can't use that as an excuse all the time.
Oh, it's not?
Well, that's why I gave it.
It's the rushing version.
Yes, well, let me fill it out, thank
Did
you.
you want to take a picture?
I did.
Oh, you did?
Again.
Yeah, it's like sometimes I have to take my meds because it's the morning and I take cafeteria, I go eat and then it's like I go about my day. thinking
So
everything's fine.
these meds were like.
It's Adderall, yes, it's Clonidine.
They're
They are
essential.
essential.
Yeah, they are essential,
You're
but
taking
let's
them
say if they
morning
were
and night.
life threatening. Essential, right?
In the lab,
So we're getting what's gonna happen.
Yes.
Well, obviously I'm not gonna focus on thoughts
Well,
and
you
like
said-
looking everything.
No, you're taking it literally, but what I'm saying is, let's say for instance. Yeah, right, and that's the way you gotta look at it. You don't have to literally memorize, right?
I feel like I'm forgetting something. Wait, guys, I don't think I'm forgetting something. That's all I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
Questions and answers, all the notes.
Yes, and it's on the computer. I showed you.
So we'll be posting this.
I'll send you a video so you can post it on YouTube.
Yeah.
And we'll send you a picture. We'll send you a picture of the raw data as well.
All right, and that's all?
And that's all the tools you need for your official lab.
You needed to do that.
That's worth 300 points. The one tonight is worth 100 points.
I mean, when I took my meds, everything was fine.
You need to start taking your meds.
I'm gonna do it about 300.
All right.
Thank
I'll see
you.
you next time.
See you one day.
Take care. All right, if they were life threatening, obviously I would die. If I needed to take them like every day and I miss one, like, if I ever miss one and just one, that one day I'll die, if it's like that, obviously I would be taking them.
Okay.
Or at the very least, I would assume that I would be taking them immediately when I needed to.
Yeah.
The issue is that this is not life threatening because
But
when I
you need
don't
it-
take my meds, I'm not focusing on academic things, environment, I have multiple people, multiple conversations, and multiple topics that we can discuss. Then it's like, it's chill. Like, that's like in my room, when I don't take my meds, everything is normal, because that is like, no one's there, no one's like, multiple things, there's nothing. Like, multiple things. And it's okay, but when it's outside, then it's like a serious issue. I have to take my medications, and that's when I realized I did not take my medications. I'm supposed to take this in the morning or at night. But then it's like, because I forgot to take a couple times. It should be able to like remember now how long, because like now it's like, okay, it's been made obvious. I also have like one of those like people, well, maybe not old people, it's like the whole weekday, a week pill boxes. Right? It's like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And I put my medications in those. Most of them are like, some of them are right there. Can't really, that's like the vitamin D, cholesterol medications. Those are, yeah, that's fine. It's the Clonidine. What is it? It's one of them called. It's Adderall. That's in German. It's anamoxetine. No. I think. I can't recall. I've had two medications, different types. Like sometimes one of the beginning it was fluoxetine, anamoxetine. Now it's Clonidine. What specific kind? Because the general term is Adderall. It's called Adderall. But yeah, it's just it's like and fluoxetine is like antidepressants as well. I stopped taking those, and this should be all I need to return to.
Yeah, everything else is.
Oh, I will. I'll try to like Sorry.
You're welcome. No, no, you're
And
not
also,
sorry.
courtesy no bond, it's just a general like, default speech.
Okay.
Because like, you know, the adjective word is stressed out. and Kind of just default to that, where it's like stressful. Fuck. What is this? Like, in the middle, like, because like, I was trying to solve, and also add one. Where, you know, 2000, no, parentheses, 2000 minus the volume, and then that's again slash, which is 5, right? The time. But then I did that one. And then by that time, you put all the answers, and then it's with your chart. It comes. And also that 2000 is 2000 milliliters. Thank you. Sorry for bothering you. Once again.
Okay. I will see you on Monday.
Hopefully.
Okay, get your homework done.
Okay. The homework was lab 2.
No, your homework is on. Yes, you have a homework assignment. On Monday.
All right. Thank you. Okay.
Have a good weekend.
Okay.
Bye. Hello. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. He's- Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. I really appreciate that. No worries. Keep asking. Okay. Okay. Take care. Bye bye.